WNXX Jackson, 1049 KNXX Donaldsonville, and WDGL HD2 Baton Rouge. This hour is brought to you by Spencer Callahan.
Good morning, everyone. It's 7 a.m. on a Friday, July 31st. Today in Baton Rouge, expect to see partly cloudy skies with a high of 91. Coming up today on Off the Bench, presented by All-Star Toyota, Hunt Palmer of the LSU Sports Radio Network joins us at 7:30. Pelicans general manager Trajan Langdon stops by at 8:30. SEC Network analyst Cole Kublik joins the show at 9, and the Yacht Father, Jimmy Yacht, stops by at 9:30 a.m. You can follow today's show by joining us inside the 104.5 ESPN Huddle app, brought to you by Bayou Ford, on Twitter or Instagram at OTB_ESPN. You can watch the show live on YouTube at the 104.5 ESPN channel, and make sure to subscribe to the Off the Bench YouTube page for new content every day. Hour number 1 of Off the Bench starts right now.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Jordy Collada and T-Bob Hebert. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
What's going on, y'all? Welcome in. OTB. Jordy remains on vacation. T-Bob Hebert, Matthew Musso, Danny Cardenas here with you on this Friday. A good Friday. Though I didn't know that I woke up with it feeling good or went to bed with it feeling good. The Pelicans last night, around 42 minutes, looked like they had it all together. Big lead. Playing just like they did in the scrimmages. Going deep to the bench. Everybody getting minutes, everybody contributing. But in the fourth, when it mattered most, they just couldn't get it done. No Zion to be found. Before we get to these headlines, boys, hop on the mics. Get your mics ready. How'd you feel about the usage of Big Z last night?
I hated it.
Definitely disappointed.
You want to expound on that, anything, guys?
We can, yeah. It felt very much like his first game when they played the Spurs, right up to the end, where it's like, okay,
Yep.
maybe, not saying it's definite if you have him in that you win, but you did draft him number 1 overall, which normally means that's the guy you're building your franchise around.
Yep.
So, and I get it, you have an all-star in Brandon Ingram, and B.I. took a great shot at the end, and it looked great out of his hand, and it
Looked
just
really good.
halfway down and then out.
It hurt so bad.
It did. But how do you not have the guy who's supposed to be your franchise player out there for at least the last 2.5 minutes of the game?
It's a great question.
They needed a spark, and they could have got it from Zion, and it was disappointing. He is your best player. And
Y'all raise fair points. I don't know that I completely agree. I think I'm actually in the minority here. I'm okay with how they used Big Z last night. I'll explain why a bit later. I just wanted to kind of take a temperature of the room as we open today's show, because obviously Zion and the Pelicans and how they used him last night is going to be a bit of an undercurrent, a kind of through current of today's show. We will ask Trajan Langdon coming up at 8:30 about that. We got the Pelicans general manager, the very talented Pelicans general manager, coming on. So if you want to hear what he has to say, he'll let you know kind of where the decision-making process was at. So we'll explore that. We got a ton to get to as well. As you will see, a lot happened yesterday. Let's go ahead, Musso. Let's dive into it. Let's get to some headlines.
Headlines on Off the Bench.
In last night's NBA return to action, in case you missed it, you can't tell, your New Orleans Pelicans lost a tough one to the Utah Jazz 106-104. Despite having the lead for the vast majority of the game, the Pels just could not close out the fourth quarter, getting outscored 27-17 in the final frame. Brandon Ingram led the way with 23. Couldn't get it done at the very end. Very close. Not quite close enough. Zion scored 13 in the 15 minutes that he played. He was 6 of 8 shooting, but as we said off the top, he was on a minutes restriction. He did not play when the game was on the line. And in the end, the Pelicans lose. We'll explore that loss more throughout the day. There's a lot of reasons why it happens, a lot to be positive about, and there's, a lot to be upset about. And the other NBA game of the day featured the two LA stalwarts going toe-to-toe, the Clippers versus the Lakers. And it was LeBron and AD that reigned supreme. The Lakers beat the Clippers 103-101. Anthony Davis dropped 34. And LeBron James D'd up both Kawhi Leonard and Paul George on the final possession to force the game-winning brick. It was pretty incredible, man. Watching LeBron frustrate Kawhi to the point where he had to dish it off to George. The king remains the king. A statement win by the Lakers here at the beginning of the bubble. In some expected college news, the SEC yesterday went ahead and confirmed what we kind of expected that they would. Remember, we told you yesterday the league presidents were going to get together and they were going to discuss the matter of a 10-game conference-only schedule, and it looks like they discussed it and it was to their liking. It is official now. SEC presidents have adopted a plan to play a 10-game conference-only schedule, sources told Sports Illustrated. The league-approved kickoff date is set for September 26th, so getting pushed back a little bit. And the particulars on the schedule, the stuff we kind of talked about yesterday, the 2 extra games, who will it be, where will those games be, that is not known right now. It is unclear for now. The SEC title game is tentatively set for December 19th. So I like this on a lot of fronts. Give yourself a little time. Let things kind of calm down. And ironically now, I think, a 10-game SEC schedule is better and from a viewing standpoint than a normal LSU 12-game schedule. Every week's going to be a good opponent. Even if you add, let's say you add the teams that you did yesterday, and LSU would have one of the easiest roads, right? You would get Kentucky and Tennessee. That is still vastly more interesting than Utah State. Vastly more interesting than Northwestern State. And look, I love these Louisiana schools and the economics of it and everything, and we can have that discussion later down the road. But just from a pure viewer, consumer perspective, I am hyped on a 10-game SEC-only schedule. Also, ironically, it's going to be way harder on the players, too. It's going to be brutal. But hey, it is what it is, man. Okay, we're going to talk a lot about adversity today, overcoming adversity. That's what everybody's got to do right now. That's what this team's got to do. That's what everybody's got to do. So we'll talk more about the SEC-only sound coming up in a bit. Here's what ESPN's Heather Dinich had to say about why the SEC chose conference only.
Well, a lot of this has to do with providing the maximum amount of flexibility to adjust, if need be, on the fly during the season to whatever the pandemic might throw at the SEC in terms of disruptions. And they thought that this was the best way to get a full season in and do it safely while accounting for some wiggle room to adjust to the pandemic. But also, as you heard Greg Sankey say, to give some time for campuses to react to the student body coming back.
In NFL news, LaShawn McCoy. Sorry, Danny, I kind of jumped you on that rundown there. Or whatever, let's just knock out the Mike Trout story. Mike Trout's going on paternity leave. Shout out to you, Mike Trout. Best baseball player in the world. Congrats. Having a son, because of course he is. You can't be that much of a man and not have you'll probably come out the womb just swinging a bat, knocking home runs.
A player to be named later.
What do you think Mike Trout's kid's WAR rating is?
Already?
Yeah.
Just in the womb?
Yeah.
Got to give him at least a solid 3.
Hey, there you go.
Yeah.
You know what's funny? As I asked the question, I realized I have no idea what the statistical benchmark for WAR is. So is that at 3? If I'm just trying to sound like I know baseball,
he's a child in the womb. That.
Okay, so what is Mike Trout's?
Substantial.
What is Mike Trout's WAR?
Off the top of my head, I don't know.
Like 7 or something?
Maybe higher than that. It might be around 10. I'm not sure.
Okay, well, congrats to you, Mike Trout. Enjoy your paternity leave, man. It's well earned. In NFL news, LaShawn McCoy is signing with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I don't know that this means a ton beyond it's an interesting name. LaShawn McCoy is definitely not the LaShawn McCoy of old, but it still is an interesting name teamed up with a Tampa Bay offense that obviously just has a huge arsenal worth of weapons. It's also relevant given that your New Orleans Saints are scheduled to start the season with the Bucs on September 13th in the Dome. Kind of funny now, NFL going to start 2 weeks before college. September 13th in the Dome. We'll see what McCoy has left in the tank. In other NFL news, we'll talk about this at length later in the show, but here's what Teron Armstead had to say when asked about what the goal of this season is.
It got to be Super Bowl or bust, in all honesty. That's it. I mean, it's not really anything else past that. It's Super Bowl or bust.
Hey.
You know, whether we don't get to the big dance, it was a failure of a season. So that's it.
I mean, bruh, you're going to talk about drawing a line in the sand here immediately in the preseason, giving you some insight into where the Saints' heads are at. Right? Think about the tone that Sean Payton took in his opening press conference. He was a little pissed. Okay, he was establishing the tenor of this preseason. And as Teron Armstead just told you, it's Super Bowl or it's a failure. And so with that in mind, everybody's got to be locked in every single day. Eye on the prize. The only thing that concerns me, that soundbite feels a lot like it came from Saints camp of 2014 in the Greenbrier. We'll talk about that a bit later. I experienced the Greenbrier firsthand. I spent a month sleeping in a crappy West Virginia hotel. I actually loved it. They had a great hotel bar. But the point is, that was a team that had more hype than any team I'd ever seen in a Saints uniform. And they were terrible. Ended up being one of the worst defenses of all time. So we'll kind of discuss, can you avoid the same pitfalls that got you 6 years ago? All right, coming up next, let's dive into last night's Pelicans loss. How do you feel about it? Vent, get in the huddle, and we'll break it down here on Off the Bench. Brought to you by All-Star Toyota, 7 to 10 a.m. Come hang out with us. We'll be back with more next.
Off the Bench with Jordy Culotta and T-Bob Hebert. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
You see it right here behind me in the studio, All-Star Toyota. Proud sponsors of the show. If you enjoy the show, a huge thank you to the All-Star family for supporting us. They also have great deals and great rides. I should probably stop talking about my minivan, but I can't. It's changed my life. I love the Sienna. It's got everything that a parent could need. But maybe you're not there. Maybe you want that Tundra, right? How does $4,500 customer cash on a 2020 Tundra sound? $2,000 customer cash on a Corolla. 0% APR financing for 72 months on a Camry. I mean, the deals go on and on. You want a hybrid? They got your back. They got everything at All-Star Toyota Baton Rouge. And maybe you're not in the mood for a new car. You want a used car, Toyota certified used vehicle, you'll get a warranty. How about this? You just need to rent a car for the weekend like Jordy did to go to the beach. They got you. Go to All-Star Toyota of BatonRouge.com. All-Star Toyota Baton Rouge.
We opened up the playbook and expanded our coverage. Listen daily in high definition on 98.1 HD2. We are 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is a local bank with a straightforward philosophy.
It's about doing the right thing for our customers.
Participating in our community with annual local fundraisers, offering individual attention in a modern banking atmosphere with a trusted local company. Gulf Coast Bank invested in technology with a local touch, giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime.
We're building relationships through personal service as the bank that cares about you.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
If I built a van, it would do more than haul.
It would carry my entire business. I'd make it available in dozens, make not thousands of configurations.
It would keep an eye on my fleet.
And an eye out for danger. If I built a van, I'd make it available in diesel and gas. And I'd build it right here in South Carolina.
Introducing the all-new Sprinter, starting at $33,790. Built in the USA. Mercedes-Benz. Vans. Born to run.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona inviting you to join us for Friday's AFR, presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar. Recapping the Pels restart. More reaction to the SEC conference-only schedule, and Terrio joins us. 3 to 6, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Jordy Collada and T-Bob Hebert. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
Pain. Despair. Darkness. Many of the feelings going through my body right now. Look, last night hurt. There's no denying it. I still don't know that I'm over it. To once again get to the edge of victory on a huge stage. With so much on the line, only to fall short. It's a feeling that is it's all too familiar. Look, there's no sugarcoating it, okay? There's another great opportunity for this team to get the city behind them. To make the people believe. I know people who don't give a damn about basketball, who were locked in last night. They want it. They want to be in on it. They were hyped. But in the end, they saw the same sad song. The fourth quarter says it all. Outscored 27-17 when it matters most. It hurts. I get it. The shot almost fell. The missed free throws. The turnovers. You could drive yourself crazy thinking about it. And it's hard not to feel defeated today. Just so sad. I can't help but feel. I can't help but feel that it's all over, boys.
Hey! What's this lying around?
Well, what the hell is supposed to do, you moron?
Bubble's over, man. The Jazz beat us in game 1.
What? Over? Did you say over? Nothing is over until we decide it is. Was it over when the Germans bombed Pearl Harbor? Hell no!
Germans? Forget it, he's rolling.
It ain't over now. Because when the going gets tough, the tough get going. Who's with me? Let's go! Come on! Ah! What the fuck happened to the Pelican I used to know? Where's the spirit? Where's the guts? Huh? This could be the greatest night of our lives. But you're gonna let it be the worst. Oh, we're afraid to go with you, Pluto. We might get in trouble. Well, just kiss my ass from now on! Not me! I'm not gonna take this!
The Jazz?
He's a dead man!
The Clippers?
Dead!
The Grizzlies?
Dead! Pluto's right. Psychotic, but absolutely right. We gotta take these bastards. Now, we could fight them with conventional
championships.
That could take years and cost millions of dollars. No. No, in this case, I think we have to go all out. I think this situation absolutely requires a really futile and stupid gesture be done on somebody's part. We're just the guys to do it.
Let's win the AC! Yeah! Yeah, let's do it! Let's win the A!
Let's do it. Let's do
Pelicans! Friends! Louisianians! Hearken to me! Yes, these are tough times, but they are not tough enough, for we are the children of hardship, forged in the flames of summer. We have arisen from the ashes before, and we will do so once again. Look, 2020, yeah, it sucks. But you know what? That doesn't mean we have to. So let us stand as one. Let us fly as a single flock in this bubble. Give me the A seed or give me death.
It's went from 6 to midnight. Manny, look at this pelican flying. Come on, pelican.
We're going to stick together. You know why?
Because we are pelicans, and pelicans fly together.
That's right, John. And just when you think they're about to break apart,
Pelicans
fly together. When the wind blows hard and the sky is black,
Pelicans
fly together. And when the roosters are crowing and the cows are spinning circles in the pasture,
okay,
Pelicans
fly together.
And when everyone says it can't be done,
Pelicans
fly together.
Off the Bench with Kalata and T-Bob.
What's up, y'all? We are brought to you as we are every day by Lanois Agency. Hope you enjoyed that. Got to get you fired up here on this Friday. We're bouncing back, okay? You know who's no stranger to adversity? Lanois. They're in the insurance business. But when adversity strikes, the bottom line is they are there for you. I made the switch, bundle my home and auto. Get flood insurance there as well. And that peace of mind, max coverage at a great rate. Maybe you're a small business owner looking for protection. They got your back. What you need to understand is that they're going to customize a policy for your specific needs, okay? And they are going to actively work to save you money. It's an attention to detail that you just don't get everywhere. An attention to saving you money without you lifting a finger that you don't get everywhere. So if you don't have that, get that. Go to LanoisAgency.com today. That's LanoisAgency.com.
Off the Bench, hanging with Hester and Hanny. After further review and more are all live daily on the 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge YouTube page. Subscribe now to interact with us inside the live chat. Find highlights for each show's channel and get notified whenever we go live.
104.5 ESPN invites you to take a short quiz for a chance to win a brand new EU1000 generator from our friends at Bozeman Distributors. Simply go to 1045ESPN.com now through August 16th and take the quiz to see how prepared you are for hurricane season. Everyone who takes the quiz is automatically entered to win the generator. Our winner will be chosen on Monday, August 17th. Get prepared for hurricane season from 1045 ESPN and stay prepared with Bozeman Distributors.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is a local bank with a straightforward philosophy.
It's about doing the right thing for our customers.
Participating in our community with annual local fundraisers, offering individual attention in a modern banking atmosphere with a trusted local company. Gulf Coast Bank invested in technology with a local touch, giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime.
We're building relationships through personal service as the bank that cares about you.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
This isn't just another day. It's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her Auctioner primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an Auctioner care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Auctioner Baton Rouge, innovating healthcare for Kelly.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
To all of our heroes working on the front lines of this COVID-19 pandemic, your bravery and selflessness represent the very best of us, and we want to say thank you. I'm asking everyone around the state to join me in celebrating the heroism of our healthcare professionals on the 19th of every month at 1900 hours, that's 7 p.m. Write a note of appreciation, make plans to donate to charitable organizations, or say a prayer. To learn more, visit 19thanks.org. Thank you, and God bless.
Tonight on Game Time, Jimmy Ott and Ben Mintz react to the Pelicans losing their first game of the restart in heartbreaking fashion. We're live from Just Winging It on Hooshatoo from 6 to 8 p.m. Come say hello or tune in to 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Jordy Collada and T-Bob Hebert. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
What's going on, y'all? Welcome back. Hope you're in a better mood now. If you're not, you should listen to Levels by Avicii. That's what I had to do this morning. Get excited again, kind of get the vibes going again. If it wasn't for copyright laws, we'd probably only play Avicii for the entire day today to try to get ready for the weekend. Rest in peace, right? Didn't he pass out of nowhere a couple years ago? Crazy. Shout out you, Avicii. Shout out to our next guy as well, Hunt Palmer. My guy's sitting fat and large on the top of the NL Central. Feeling good. 4-2. Only team with a winning record. Hunt, how are you feeling this Friday?
I'm good, T-Bob. I've very much enjoyed basketball. I'll kind of flip the script and toss it to you. For those in the audience that are just waiting for football, because that's what gets them going and they don't really have another outlet other than football, I answered the question last week, and I'll toss it to you. Did the no fans thing impact your passion or caring? Because for me, in baseball, it hasn't really mattered all that much, and I know that you had to dive back in last night.
Yeah, no, it doesn't matter at all. Now, I think basketball as a sport's probably just suited to handling it the best because they don't have to have like a bunch of empty seats to deal with. So visually, basketball is a little better than baseball, but it has made literally no difference to me. I mean, even in the pain of last night's Pelicans loss, it just felt so good again to have a real rooting interest and to feel that pain, right? I felt a bit like Pacino. Is it in what's the gambling movie with him and McConaughey where he talks about it's the losing that makes you feel alive. That reminds you, like, that pit in my stomach, the sadness that I felt when I collapsed to the ground when Brandon Ingram missed that game-winning 3. I have missed that so much, Hunt, and it felt so good in a weird, abusive way. Now, I do want to pick your brain on this, Hunt, because before we get into the Cubs, you love college basketball. You're a beast breaking down college basketball. Do you have any interest in this NBA bubble?
No, I don't. I was grabbing a drink with some friends after 9 holes of golf last night, and watched the last 2 minutes of the Pelicans game. But I didn't make a point to seek it out. I just, as I've said many times, I can't fake it. I've got 4 teams. Just couldn't be more in on those 4 teams. The Pels, unfortunately, are not one. I enjoy going to the Smoothie King Center like once a year to watch.
Yeah. But
I just can't fake it. I just don't have that in me.
Yeah, I just didn't know if maybe you'd gotten it in last night. So what about your Cubbies, though, bro? How are you feeling after a week and a half of professional baseball games that matter? Cubs at 4-2 atop the NL Central. How have you been enjoying your MLB so far?
I think the 2 most important things are that the first thing we talked about is that not having fans has not impacted how much I care and just the viewing pleasure of watching the game. I'm still locked in and just fired up every time they take the field. And the second thing is they had a pretty bad coronavirus deal with the Marlins, and they didn't shut everything down. They shut the Marlins down, and they're trying to do the best they can to figure out how they want to deal with it. But this is not the last time a sports team is going to be affected by this thing. And my sincere hope is that it doesn't just shut the whole thing down. We just got to figure out how we're going to deal with it. Every sport's going to have to do it a little bit differently. But the show has gone on to say the very least, and that's I think a positive.
Are there any answers as to what the Marlins are going to end up doing schedule-wise? I mean, it's just interesting because they're still in their week off, and when you look, I mean, the majority of the teams around the league have played 7 games, and the Marlins are still sitting there just 2-1.
Yeah, baseball's better positioned to deal with that to an extent. One, the Marlins are not going to be involved in the playoff picture, so it doesn't really matter. No one's really going to say that, but that's the fact of the matter. I mean, if this were the Yankees or the Dodgers, you may have a different discussion, but the fact of the matter is they're not going to. And second, they're just saying, okay, we're just going to go by winning percentage. We're going to play as many as we can to do it in a safe way and not a way that we're not going to make the Marlins play 4 doubleheaders in a row and blow all their pitching out. We're just going to go by winning percentage and do the best we can. Baseball's positioned to do that because there's so many games. The other part of it is, I guess football could do it technically if you just took a week off. That's 1 game, but still, football would be in a more compromised position than this. But everybody's going to have some sort of contingency plan in place because I think this is going to happen again.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting, the winning percentage angle, because as it sits now, the Braves are 4-3, but it is the Marlins atop the NL East because that 2-1 record is a slightly better win percentage. Let's move on from the MLB, though, Hunt. Let's talk about college football. Starting to take shape. Not completely unexpected what's gone down this week, but ACC announcing they're going conference only, adding Notre Dame. You got any interest in a little ACC football now that there's a second big boy?
I'm cranky about Notre Dame jumping in when it's convenient. They've gone just a century going, we're too good for a conference, and now, well, we kind of need a conference. Y'all want to help us out, and because of money, somebody, of course, jumps in the pot. And I understand why everyone did it, and life will go on, but Notre Dame deserved, after years of saying, we're different from everybody, leave us alone. Now they go, oh, well, what? We need a little help. Can we play you guys? And then Wilson with open arms. I wanted them to have to stand out in the cold for a year. That's kind of a petty way to think, but that's how I feel about Notre Dame.
Damn, Hunt, at these times more than ever, we need to present a united front, and you wanted Notre Dame just have to sit there, sitting on their hands all year long?
Yeah, go play Navy and have fun. We'll see you next year. I'm out on Notre Dame.
Hunt Palmer not pulling any punches this morning, man. I'm excited. I can't wait to see if they can actually challenge Clemson. Clemson, look, Clemson plays nobody, and they're still susceptible to tripping up once a year. So you add Notre Dame then, I think it becomes a little more interesting. The other big news of the week, Hunt, yesterday, the SEC presidents agreed to go to a conference-only 10-game schedule, pushed back to September 26th. What's your kind of initial reaction when you hear SEC only 10 games?
All I care about is what are the other 2 games for everybody. And once I get that information, I'll have an opinion on it. This is not a new take for me. I'm only interested in how things shake out in terms of LSU winning a national championship. That's the only thing that I react to on policy changes in college football and in the SEC. And when I saw that Ross Dellinger tweeted that there's a thought of your 2 additional games or the next 2 in your rotation, I looked at that and I said, that's a good little break for LSU. I like that. Alabama's got to play Florida. A&M's got to play Florida.
Yep.
We pick up Tennessee and Kentucky. They're not as talented as us. We could win those games. Okay, I kind of like it. And then I see that they said, well, we're not going to do that just yet. We're going to do something that has to do with strength of schedule. And I just can't help but sit here and think, I wonder if Tuscaloosa and College Station got on the phone and said, yeah, we don't like that a ton. And I've made this very clear on Hester's show. And it's pathetic. It is a serious character flaw of mine, but I can't shake it. I am now obsessed with Texas A&M's failure as a football program. I crave it. I need it. And they have been pointing to this year for 2 years now and just excusing every loss they have. And last year, all their beat writers go, well, that was just too tough a schedule. You just weren't going to navigate that. And we played a harder schedule than them and won 15 games.
Yeah.
So I don't want to really hear about it. And I would love for them to get a little trip to Gainesville and lose by 2 touchdowns. And this year they've been targeting as their year to win the SEC and arrive on the big stage. And I really just want that to be a failure. And so I would love them to go to Florida.
Yeah, I think if you look at like the potential schools that would be pushing back against just doing the next 2 in the rotation, Hunt, obviously A&M and Bama probably would because they don't want to play Florida. But, I mean, how about Florida itself, right? Was there a bigger loser than Florida if they were to do that? Given that, the schedule is one of the main advantages they have over UGA, and then all of a sudden they have to add in Bama and A&M?
And on top of that, they would have had to play that game. I don't know how many fans we're talking about, but they would have taken the game in Jacksonville and put it in Athens.
Yeah, I guess I didn't even think about that. So it's because of those reasons, that's a powerful trio to be like, hey, hold on, pump the brakes. This is not how we want to do it. I don't care. I'm with Coach Joe. I'm in the whole play anywhere, play in the pasture, play at midnight, don't give a damn, give us your best shot. You want to put LSU Georgia again? I'm down for that, Hunt. I'm about that. It sounds like you're maybe not. No, that's what I'm saying, dude. It holds no interest to me. That's why I like Tennessee, Kentucky, because they were low risk, but they're still quality teams where you just can't sleepwalk through the game.
I don't want to pick a scab here, but we'll do it because it's radio and we're trying to have some fun.
Yeah.
But I could have put that trash Oklahoma State team in the Superdome with you 9 years ago, and you could have won a national championship. Instead, we had to go let's just go beat them again. That'll be great. We'll get to be the man. You got to beat the man. We'll just beat them and win the national championship. Well, that didn't work out for all the macho men who wanted to do that, and it doesn't work for me ever. I'd rather walk through the open door than run through the wall.
You know what? When viewed through that lens, I cede to your point. I would have loved to play Oklahoma State in that natty instead of Alabama again. Hunt Palmer, Hunt the Fan, catch him on Hanging with Hester and Hanny. Also listen for him on the game day broadcasts on LSU, does a daily hoops podcast as well. Like he said, he has 4 teams. He covers them in depth. He loves them. Hunt, good luck to the Cubs this next week.
Good luck to the Pelicans this week.
Hey,
I'm pulling for you.
Look at us, dude. Look at us. Who would have guessed?
Have a good weekend, too.
All right, take it easy, Hunt. We'll check in with you next Friday. All right, when we get back, we'll actually dive into some real analysis about last night's game and what went wrong and how they can get it fixed. And come up later on the show, Teron Armstead says it's Super Bowl or bust. Drawing a line in the sand. Why does that make me a bit worried? We got Trajan Langdon at 8:30, so we got a lot going on here on Off the Bench by All-Star Toyota, 7 to 10 a.m.
Off the Bench with Kalana and T-Bob.
You having car trouble out there? I want you to go to Donosul Glass and Body. You can look them up on Facebook at Donosul Glass and Body, DonosulGlassandBody.com, DGBAuto.com. If you're an oil and service tech, they are looking to hire right now. Go turn in your resume. You want full benefits. You want great pay. You want a great place to work. That's DG&B. They're also great at working on your vehicle. If you get in an accident, they will actually pick up your vehicle, fix it, and then drop it back off to your driveway. Use that brand new 2019 tow truck. She's a beauty. Yeah, how's that for convenience? Who else does that? Nobody. Because nobody cares about their customers like Donosul Glass and Body does. But it's not just collision repair, although they're the best at that. It's anything. Service work, oil change, inspection sticker. A literal one-stop car shop. Go to DonosulGlassandBody.com, DonosulGlassandBody.com.
Live NBA play-by-play continues tonight with the Houston Rockets and Dallas Mavericks. Tip-off is set for 8, and tune in Sunday afternoon as the Portland Trail Blazers take on the Boston Celtics. Our coverage begins with pregame at 2 p.m.
The NBA is on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Crime has serious consequences, but anyone can make a mistake. If you find yourself in trouble with the law, know that you have rights, and it's okay to demand them. The law offices of O.C. Brown are here to protect you and your rights. Felony or misdemeanor, DUI or drug charge. No matter what crime you're accused of, you still have rights. Let the law offices of O.C. Brown uphold them. Call 225-343-1111. Your law firm for a lifetime.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is a local bank with a straightforward philosophy.
It's about doing the right thing for our customers.
Participating in our community with annual local fundraisers, offering individual attention in a modern banking atmosphere with a trusted local company. Gulf Coast Bank invested in technology with a local touch, giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime.
We're building relationships through personal service as the bank that cares about you.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital.
Yo, join us for a Friday TGIF edition of Hanging with Hester and Hanny presented by Richard Tonda. Hey, Hanny, is Flynn going to show up?
I don't know. Jimmy's laying 5-2 against.
Doesn't look good for your boy, but we're going to have a great show on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Jordy Collada and T-Bob Hebert. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
Welcome back. Off the bench, 7 to 10 a.m. 104.5, 100.3, 94.7 ESPN. Let's talk a little bit more about last night's Pelicans game. We opened the show. I kind of got y'all's thoughts on it. And feel free to jump in wherever you're, boys. But I think both Musso and Danny, both of y'all are representative of what a lot of Pelicans fans are feeling today. And they're feeling a little upset that Zion Williamson didn't play a bigger role in the game, and especially didn't play a bigger role down the stretch. Now, one thing before we get to the Zion thing, I see a lot of like, oh, I bought in again, and they blew it again, and they disappointed me. And look, I get that. I'm not going to argue too hard against it. If you feel that way, that's fine. But I would say this: don't you want to be a little tougher than that, right? Are you going to fold to the first sign of adversity? Are you going to push through? Hey, what would have happened if Joe Burrow had quit when it was 17-7 in the Natty? You know what? You'd have had a ruined season. And then Corona would have hit. And then we all would have been sadder than we could possibly imagine. But he didn't. He pushed through that initial adversity. Okay? So we're going to do the same thing. Be tough. Don't be so soft. Suck it up. Get ready to watch tomorrow's game. Get a whiskey. Get hyped. That said, I actually have no problem with how they handled Zion last night. With him not playing. And so it's for a few reasons. The bottom line reason is medical. First off, we celebrated, David Griffin's done so much since he took over the Pelicans. And one of the more interesting moves was hiring Phoenix Suns trainer Aaron Nelson. The Pelicans have been besought by injuries for years, right? I mean, one of the most injured teams in the entire NBA. And so they were going to change things. They were going to start doing things a different way, and they brought in a very good trainer. We celebrated that hiring. I don't know medicine better than Aaron Nelson. Neither do the coaches, okay? And so if you hire a guy with that skill set, what do we always celebrate Coach O for? Allowing his employees, his coaches, room to operate, right? He delegates. He empowers them to make the decisions in their areas of expertise. Okay? He's not going to step on their toes. He's going to let them do their job. It's a thing that you wanted Coach Miles to do for years. Well, if you're a Pelicans fan, you have to let Aaron Nelson, that celebrated hire, you have to let that training staff do their job. And if they say that it's not worth the risk or that he's on a tight minutes restriction, then you have to respect that. And I also don't find it very hard to accept that at face value, if you're gone for who's gone for 14 days? It's tough for anybody after 14 days to come back and then just go play an immediate, 30-plus minute game. I mean, who knows what he was doing during those 14 days? We still don't know what he was dealing with. Was he working out? I don't know. He didn't look quite as in good a shape last night as he did in those pictures from before he went home, which, whatever. I mean, I'm probably reading too much into it, but I did think. And honestly, what did y'all think, dude? He looked gassed when he would come off the court. Did you think so? I thought he did.
I don't know if I'd say gassed. I mean, he didn't look.
It's tough to say because he has that weird walk anyway a lot of times.
I wouldn't say gassed. Did he look tired? Yeah, but I think most of them looked tired.
And it's funny because the Pelicans actually played a ton of guys. Like
they did.
Barely anybody broke the 30-minute threshold. And ironically, the Pelicans bench was excellent. All the Pelicans bench almost finished in the positive in the plus minus.
I mean, Derek Favors looked slow last night.
Derek Favors looked bad. I was shocked. I mean, he's going against his old team. You would have thought he would have had a ton of motivation to D up Rudy Gobert, the guy that he had to deal with in practice for years. One of the reasons why he lost or why he left the Jazz and came to New Orleans was he wanted a bigger role. He wanted to be more of the guy. I thought he would have had more motivation to go out and prove that last night. He looked a little listless at times.
But, I mean, if the only thing we're worried about was Zion is conditioning and then he looked slow, 15 minutes. You said, you can't expect someone to come play 30. Of course not, but 15 minutes out of 48?
I feel you, but again, I'm not a doctor.
And neither am I. But it's just you kind of wonder when you start to – you're not a doctor, okay? But if it's just conditioning, is it really just conditioning after only 15 minutes?
I don't think – I don't think –
And
I think it's very I think it's very serviceable. I mean, I think your thought process is something that a lot of people are going through today. They're wondering, is there something more to it? Is there an injury or something he's recovering from? No, I feel very confident in saying that is not the case. I think it simply is that he was gone. Who knows what he was doing in those 2 weeks that he was gone? Who knows what he was dealing with? And that it's tough to then come back. And you can lose to conditioning, muscle growth. That can go quick. I don't care about your age. When you take 2 weeks off, you're going to feel way different, completely different. He's going to be sore today, even with those just 15 minutes. So I take it at the surface level. I don't think he's injured. I think they're just being overly cautious. And look, the Pelicans have told you a million times, the goals are so much bigger than this bubble and these 8 games and so much more long-term. Yeah, they maybe are going to be a little overly precious with Zion. And here's the other thing. I'm not convinced that he was your best path to winning last night. Yes, he was very effective scoring in his limited time, 13 points in the 15 minutes. His finishing around the rim, his touch around the rim is just silly. But didn't get a single rebound. Pelicans got out-rebounded hard when he was on the court. Played very poor defensively. I mean, if you want to talk about plus-minus, in 15 minutes, Zion was minus 16. And a lot of that was because of the offensive rebounds that Utah was able to get when he was in the game. So, into the game situation, I could make the argument that he wasn't even your best option to win. I mean, the most disappointing part about last night, by far, had to be the turnovers. I mean, we talked about it with Antonio Daniels yesterday. We talked about it so much leading up to this bubble debut. But what was the best part of the scrimmage is that they only had like 13 turnovers total in the 3 games. They looked so flowy, so good. They had 21 turnovers last night. 21. It's hard to win when you play that sloppy. Then you combine that with missed free throws and like, what are we doing here, right? And then you combine those factors with going ice cold in the fourth quarter. Just 17 points. Nobody could hit a 3. And look, and you look at Lonzo, I think he even ended up like 2 of 14 on the night. I feel for him because not a lot of people watch Lonzo this year. Not everybody realizes that he's become one of the premier shooters in the NBA. He's been great. He's been 40% from 3. He was really good in these scrimmages. He just didn't have it last night. Brandon Ingram, been really good recently. He just didn't have it last night. J.J. Redick tried his damnedest to do his best to keep that playoff streak alive. There's a couple screenshots where maybe Redick had that look at the end, but I got no problem with Brandon Ingram taking that shot. I want a guy who wants that shot, and it almost fell.
It was a good shot.
It was a good shot. It almost fell. Like everything else in the fourth quarter, though, it was the ultimate kind of close but no cigar sort of feeling. And that's something that Pelicans fans are very used to. And I think that kind of begs the questions, okay, well, how much of this is on Gentry? The sloppiness. Some of the fourth quarter decisions. To be clear, if you listen to his post-game comments, he would have played Zion if the decision was up to him. He was respecting his superiors who basically told him, look, yeah, it ain't happening. So you can't blame him for that. In terms of the sloppiness, in terms of the struggles in clutch time, I mean, I want to say that it's not him because the free-flowing attack, like I said, the Pelicans' offense looks so crisp, so good in these scrimmages. And even for like long stretches last night, that second and third quarter felt like the Pelicans team that you saw over the last week. The depth was on display. They had the other constantly attacking. They had the Jazz on their back heels. And then it all turned. And this is where Gentry gets a bit harder to defend or something needs to be fixed. And you know what? Maybe this is, I actually think this is probably just the hallmark of a very young team. But right now, if you look on the season, the Pelicans are second to last in the league in crunch time differential, clutch minutes. When the game's on the line with a couple possessions, a little time left, they are 29th with a minus 23 net rating. Despite being in the top 8 for games that are decided in clutch moments, the Pelicans are just 12 and 25 in such situations this year. Do you wonder why the Jazz won? Utah, on the other hand, they're 26 and 11 in those same situations. So this was a Jazz team that is much better than you in the fourth. And this is a Jazz team that's grown together. Gobert and Donovan Mitchell been together for a while. Joe Ingles. Like, I think the Pelicans will get there eventually. And you may say, oh, well, it's always like this with Gentry. But that's not true. 2 years ago, the Pelicans were a top 5 clutch team in the entire NBA. So I actually think this is just a young team that still has to learn how to win. And who's going to get them across that line? Who's going to teach them that lesson? Is it Brandon Ingram? Maybe so. But here's a quote from Scott Kushner that says that Ingram's got to get better immediately. Scott points out that the Pelicans are 5-14 this year in games that are within 2 points in the final 2 minutes. They're 3-14 in games that Brandon Ingram has played within 2 points in the final 2 minutes. And in those 22 total minutes, Ingram's just 4 of 15 from the field. So he has the green light. He's trying to do it. He's not scared of the moment. Now you just got to get it done. And look, the bottom line is you got no time to feel sorry for yourself. You got to bounce back. You got to shake back. And you got to get ready to beat this Clippers team. There's a lot of basketball left to be played. And it's going to be a salty Clippers team, and it's going to be tough. All right, coming up next hour, we're going to talk a lot more football. Diving into some LSU and Saints here on Off the Bench.
Off the Bench with Kalana and T-Bob.
What's up, y'all? We've been talking about Ochsner every day here. And shout out to Ochsner. Jumping on the OTB bandwagon, but I'm excited to be on the Ochsner bandwagon because we toured all the campuses. Baton Rouge, the Grove is beautiful, brand new. New Orleans, the North Shore, all these facilities are second to none. They're where it's literally like it's where the pros train. It's literally Saints and Pelicans. Except you don't have to be a pro athlete to get that professional treatment, and it's not just for injuries. So if you are hurt, they have the top minds that can explore non-surgical options. They have the top surgeons if you do have to end up having surgery. And the physical therapy facilities are incredible. Trust me, I've spent a lot of times in physical therapy, recovery from surgeries, and you're getting professional level treatment at Ochsner. There's also Ochsner Sports Performance Training. You just want to take your game to the next level, you got it. Go to ochsner.org today.
If I built a van, it would do more than haul.
It would carry my entire business. I'd make it available in dozens, if not thousands of configurations.
It would keep an eye on my fleet.
And an eye out for danger.
If I built a van, I'd make it available in diesel and gas. And I'd build it right here in South Carolina.
Introducing the all-new Sprinter, starting at $33,790. Built in the USA. Mercedes-Benz. Vans. Born to run.
Gulf Coast Bank & Trust is a local bank with a straightforward philosophy.
It's about doing the right thing for our customers.
Participating in our community with annual local fundraisers. Offering individual attention in a modern banking atmosphere with a trusted local company. Gulf Coast Bank invested in technology with a local touch, giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime.
We're building relationships through personal service as the bank that cares about you.
Gulf Coast Bank & Trust, the bank that cares about you.
To all of our heroes working on the front lines of this COVID-19 pandemic, your bravery and selflessness represent the very best of us, and we want to say thank you. I'm asking everyone around the state to join me in celebrating the heroism of our healthcare professionals on the 19th of every month at 1900 hours, that's 7 p.m. Write a note of appreciation, make plans to donate to charitable organizations, or say a prayer. To learn more, visit 19thanks.org. Thank you, and God bless.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, We've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All Star Toyota today.
Prompt, professional, reliable. If you're looking for a breath of fresh air with your AC and heating needs, call the professionals at Anison Bitter. Anison Bitter, a Rheem Pro partner, keeping your family comfortable for over 25 years.
This hour is brought to you by Spencer Callahan Injury Lawyers.
Good morning, everyone. It's 8 a.m. on Friday, July 31st. Today in Baton Rouge, expect to see partly cloudy skies with a high of 91. Still to come on Off the Bench, Pelicans General Manager Trajan Langdon joins the show at 8:30 a.m. SEC Network analyst Cole Kublik stops by at 9, and the Ott Father, Jimmy Ott, joins us at 9:30. You can follow today's show by joining us inside the 104.5 ESPN Huddle app, brought to you by Bayou Ford, on Twitter or Instagram at OTB_ESPN. You can watch the show live on the 104.5 ESPN YouTube channel. Make sure to subscribe and also get over and subscribe to the Off the Bench YouTube channel for new content every day. Hour number 2 of OTB starts right now.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Jordy Collada and T-Bob Hebert. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
Welcome back. OTB. 104.5, 100.3, 94.7 ESPN. Going through some of these comments from last hour. Pels are just young and a bit soft. They don't have a clue how to win, but if they stick together, they have the talent to compete next year. Yeah, let's be painfully clear about one fact. The Pelicans are deep. They're young, and they have a very solid core. I mean, when you look at it, how good did Jackson Hayes look like last night? I mean, yeah, he could be a bit... Jackson Hayes is almost representative of the Pelicans team as a whole right now. He's like an awkward kind of gangly deer, right? Fresh out the womb. Still just dripping. Knees knobbly, kind of trying to figure it out. But you could tell that one day he's going to run. He's going to jump and he's going to run really fast. And he gave you legit minutes last night. In fact, you come away last night far more impressed with him than you were Derek Favors. And even Nico Melli. But still, so they are very young. The future of the Pelicans looks incredibly bright. It's one of the reasons why they're being a bit more conservative, I think, with Zion Williamson. Do you know what makes a true warrior versus someone who wants to be one? His mindset. Navy SEALs are not the strongest, not the fastest, but they have the mind of a killer. Zion is a baby and does not have the willpower nor the strength or mind to be a winner. So the only thing that I would say there is, if you listen to Zion, it's not his decision not to play. That is on the training staff. He would definitely play if called upon. I do agree with you, though, on Navy SEALs. If you've ever read about Navy SEAL training, there are certain things in this life you just know that you cannot do, and I'm just not tough enough. I could not do it. No Easy Day is an excellent book that I would recommend anybody go check out. And then I'm trying to remember, is that it doesn't matter. No, and then Lone Survivor. No Easy Day is about the Bin Laden mission, I believe. And then Lone Survivor is that crazy story just about, being in a terrible situation halfway across the world. But either way, in those books, you get an idea of Navy SEAL training, and it's unlike anything I've ever read about. The wildest part about it, too, and now just because I'm going off a bit of a tangent, the wildest part about it is, like, at a certain point, too, it's not even just if you're tough enough. Like, if you can somehow mentally push through and do it, you do eventually hit the cutoff where you have to make times. And if you can't make the times, it doesn't matter how tough you are, it just can't do it. So, yeah, they are the elite of the elite. Absolutely, the Pelicans are not there yet. I just don't think it's fair to say that Zion didn't want to play last night. How about this question? This is a little interesting. It's from Chris Martinez. He says, I understand you agree with the time restriction on Zion, But do you agree with those minutes being used solely at the beginning of each quarter?
See, that's a great question because Gentry said in his postgame that I was given the minutes. That's what he played. But could he have managed the minutes better? Why was it only at the beginning of quarters?
Yeah, it is. It is a bit interesting. In my opinion, I guess I would say that overall Zion's form, like I said, minus 16 and 15 minutes, plus minus not everything. But it has some merit. And maybe Gentry just didn't feel, honestly, like Zion gave him the best chance to win. But then that would be kind of at odds with his post-game comments. So I don't know. I honestly do not have a great reason. And I, as a fan, definitely would have been more excited to see Zion in those final 3 minutes as opposed to the beginning 3 minutes of the quarter.
I mean, if the game goes to overtime, we're just going to leave Zion on the bench for the whole 5-minute period there? I mean, I guess so.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He was done.
I mean,
Dude, you could tell. I mean, he had his shirt on. Like, you could tell from his body language when he came off the court that last time, they told him, wrap it up. Like, they could have gone ahead and thrown ice on his knees. They probably wanted the Jazz to think maybe they would potentially put him back in. But if you went into OT, he wouldn't come back in that game. Somebody's saying they don't have a lot of basketball left to play. They got to win. Look, yes and no. They still do have a lot of basketball, but they do have to win that lot of basketball. I've been saying it from the beginning. In these 8 games, this is why last night hurt so bad. You had to take one of these first 2, and then you had to go 5-1 in the others, beating the Grizzlies in those 5 wins. And if you do that, you'll make the play-in. So now you have to beat the Clippers if that's our structure that we're trying to follow. And as I said, you're going to get a salty Clippers team who's a little angry about losing the Lakers. And for all the talk of like, will they be chilling? Do they care about seeding? It looks like all the teams are taking this very seriously and are trying to, like, that felt like playoff basketball last night.
You have to take this seriously, though, because they even talked about that on the broadcast last night is who's going to really be motivated. You have to be just to get back in basketball shape. You don't want to lollygag through these 8 games, then get into the playoffs and get swept right out because you're not ready to play.
I think that's the element that maybe a lot of teams or a lot of people missed. And look, and still, I think coaches are going to like play guys less minutes, and they're going to ease back into this a bit. But I'm with you, Moose. So I think that they know that, okay, you like, it's like Bill Parcells. The only way to practice football is to practice football, right? Well, the only way to get ready to win a championship is to try to play elite level basketball. And so let's see if they can bounce back against the Clips tomorrow and then what they can do down the stretch. Boys, SEC only this year. September 26th. A little clarity starting to come in. The devil's in the details. We'll see what those are. Who are going to be the 2 extra games? Where are they going to be? When are they going to be? SEC championship set for December 19th. So already we are moving into we're moving back a bit, giving things a bit of time to like calm down, everybody kind of find their footing. We could get back to how we felt at, what was it, like the beginning of June when things were feeling pretty good, moving into phase 2, feeling positive. Yeah, maybe we get back to that feeling, and then you feel really good about college football, and we'll start to know how many fans are going to be at the game and what they're going to do about tickets, et cetera, et cetera. But what's your surface level reactions to hearing 10 SEC games on the docket this fall?
I love it.
I do too.
It's going to be compelling every single week. Now, you do lose the benefit of what you had last year where everyone got hurt at Texas and you had that 4-month layoff where you played Vanderbilt, Utah State, and Northwestern State.
A lot of coaches' decisions mixed in there, too.
You don't have the coaches' decisions this coming season, and you don't have time to bounce back from injuries, but I like that it will be entertaining and compelling every week. We don't have to sit through UTSA.
Yeah. Also, nobody else has that time either.
Yeah,
so, you know,
it's level.
It's a classic thing that my old man used to say, like, oh, are you hot? Oh, are you hot? Okay, well, guess what? It's hot for them, too. Suck it up. Okay? Yeah, it sucks. It's a grind. Suck it up. I have to imagine that they'll have 2 bye weeks. I haven't read
they said they only had 1 in the middle of the season. I thought that's what I saw yesterday.
Okay. That's okay. I haven't read one way or another yet. If it's only 1, that kind of shocks me. They did push the season back, so maybe the windows are just too tight, but I figured they'd want to leave themselves a lot of wiggle room based if you have a Marlins type of situation. So we'll see. But yeah, you're not going to have as much time to recover from injury. It's going to be a huge grind on these players. I mean, think about if you're Miles Brennan. You are having to follow up the greatest college football player of all time. The greatest college football player in your school's history, at least. A guy who they're already talking about, build the statue, retire the numbers. He brought you to the promised land. He set all the records. He blew expectations. He shattered them, disintegrated them. And now that's the shoes that you have to fill. And then in that moment, right, as if that wasn't tough enough, then a global pandemic arises. And you can't practice with your teammates. You can't get the timing down like you want to. You can't go work out like you want to. You're reduced to cutting down trees in your yards and benching and squatting them like it's Rocky IV. And then on top of that, you don't get your easy warm-up games. You don't get your UTSAs or your McNeeses or anything else like that. Rice, like, that's all out the window. Now, you're going straight into the SEC, and you're going to stay there for an entire fall. You thought playing 8 SEC games was a grind? How does 10 sound? So, yeah, man, pressure's on. Pressure's on this entire team, but obviously, like almost anything else with LSU, viewing it through the lens of Miles, putting yourself in his shoes, you see how daunting that can kind of look. So let's hope that this team's leadership's ready for it. I believe they are, and they're very talented. And they're still more talented than basically every team on their schedule. It almost doesn't matter who you add. If you had Georgia, you could argue maybe they got more NFL talent this year. Argue. Alabama, you could argue, have more NFL talent. But I mean, I don't think A&M. Definitely not Florida. And they might be close, but they're not there. So if the leadership's right, if you can get everybody locked in, you can still have a lot of success this season. But yes, from a viewer perspective, I actually love this schedule better than a normal one. Ben Coughlin says, I believe the 10-game SEC schedule is here to stay. This is something that I talked about a couple of weeks ago, and it hasn't gotten a lot of traction, and I don't know that it will. Because when you start to look at the economics of going to like a full Power 5 schedule, I do think it's a little it's a little tough. It's going to be tough for multiple reasons, right? You're going to lose a couple home games potentially, which could mean a loss in revenue for the schools. Obviously, Group of 5, all of these smaller schools that depend on those big paydays, the fallout from that is something that I can't really wrap my head around. And those paydays allow, hundreds, thousands of football players throughout the country to continue to play football, to continue their career. I don't want to be so callous as to act like getting rid of that is no big deal. But I think if you look at the SEC TV contract and how Mike Slive approached that back when, was it like 15 years ago? I think there's some lessons that you could potentially draw from that. Slive sacrificed money in the short term for exposure. And look at what it did. It led to money down the road. He said, dude, CBS gets the SEC games for $55 million a year.
It's a steal.
It's a steal. ESPN's going to pay them $300 million a year when this contract is up. So you're like, oh, that's a terrible deal by Slive, except that it's not, because what did he do? He said he wanted to focus on brand awareness, build the brand, and then let the money follow. And look at what it's done. I mean, people are locked in on that CBS slate every single Saturday. It led to championships. The championships led to more money. It's led to the huge ratings. It led to big revenue sharing from other TV contracts that were struck afterwards, things like the SEC network. And now when this new contract is struck, it's going to lead to even bigger money and revenue sharing. And so the reason why I bring that up is this 10-game SEC schedule could potentially be a bit of the same boat. Where, yeah, if you move to something like an all Power 5 schedule, which I would love, if you did 10 Power 5 games, 8 SEC, 2 non-conference, let's go. That would be awesome. If you want to do 11 or 12 games, sure, I'm down for that too. That's just a hell of a grind, but we can talk about that. But so let's say you maybe lose a couple home games in that transition, or you lose some of that easy, immediate money. What you gain down the road could be huge. And that's why I'm fascinated to see what the TV ratings are going to be this fall. Because, can the ratings get high enough in this sports wasteland with all good matchups? Can the ratings get high enough where you command an even higher price in TV negotiations? Can the ratings get high enough where you command even more eyeballs? The brand grows even stronger. And then from a value standpoint, you're bigger than what you were before, and you make up that money tenfold that you lost in the initial transition. This is all very far out there, very, a long way from now. We'll see if any of it comes to pass. But as long as just the immediate right now, I love this 10-game SEC schedule. I like LSU battling against the best. 7-0 against top 10 teams last year. They are made for this grind. Let's just see what this quarterback and this new offense can do with all these new faces. It's going to be very tough, but very fun to watch from our perspective. All right, when we get back, I want to talk some Saints football as Teron Armstead made headlines yesterday, drawing a line in the sand, if you will, saying it's Super Bowl or bust for the Houdat Nation. This is Off the Bench, 104.5, 100.3, 94.7 ESPN.
Off the Bench with Jordy Culotta and T-Bob Hebert. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
Really felt like the Pelicans broke down in that fourth quarter, didn't it? Well, if you have a diesel vehicle, Zion's kind of like a diesel. If you have a diesel vehicle, you want to go to CoysDiesel.com. And if you break down, if you're on a minutes restriction, and you're shut down on the side of the road, I don't care if it's Sunday night at 2 a.m. Coys Diesel has that 24/7 emergency roadside assistance. 24/7. All you have to do is go to CoysDiesel.com. You can set up the website or you can call them. Coys, spelled C-O-Y-S. And look, maybe you're a do-it-yourselfer, right? You just enjoy working on your car. That's cool. I'm not, but that's cool. You need to shop by part. You got an old diesel vehicle, early 2000s, late 90s. Well, guess what? Coy has your back. You need financing. They got your back. Why would you go anywhere else for your diesel vehicle than the company that has it right there in the name? Go to CoysDiesel.com.
Our listeners fire off their opinions on the JimsFirearms.net hotline at 499-1045. Keep listening for your next chance to shoot us your thoughts with the JimsFirearms.net hotline on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
If I built a van, it would do more than haul.
It would carry my entire business. I'd make it available in dozens, make not thousands of configurations.
It would keep an eye on my fleet.
And an eye out for danger.
If I built a van, I'd make it available in diesel and gas. And I'd build it right here in South Carolina.
Introducing the all-new Sprinter, starting at $33,790. Built in the USA. Mercedes-Benz. Vans. Born to run.
This isn't just another day. It's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her Auctioner primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an Auctioner care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Auctioner Baton Rouge, innovating healthcare for Kelly.
Crime has serious consequences, but anyone can make a mistake. If you find yourself in trouble with the law, know that you have rights, and it's okay to demand them. The law offices of O.C. Brown are here to protect you and your rights. Felony or misdemeanor, DUI or drug charge. No matter what crime you're accused of, you still have rights. Let the law offices of O.C. Brown uphold them. Call 225-343-1111. Your law firm for a lifetime.
Gulf Coast Bank & Trust is a local bank with a straightforward philosophy.
It's about doing the right thing for our customers.
Participating in our community with annual local fundraisers. Offering individual attention in a modern banking atmosphere with a trusted local company. Gulf Coast Bank invested in technology with a local touch, giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime.
We're building relationships through personal service as the bank that cares about you.
Gulf Coast Bank & Trust, the bank that cares about you.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona inviting you to join us for Friday's AFR presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar. Recapping the Pels restart. More reaction to the SEC conference-only schedule, and Terrio joins us. 3 to 6, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Jordy Collada and T-Bob Hebert. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
Hey, what's up, y'all? Welcome back Off the Bench. OTB. Had some good comments coming in on the takes about, potentially an all Power 5 schedule, what it would mean. A little bit of pushback. And I appreciate this perspective because I want to be clear. When I'm talking about this, I'm approaching it from a very selfish viewer, fan of college football angle. Want to see the premier matchups. I'm approaching it with dollar signs in my eyes, not a lot of empathy. And it just, one guy mentions that, look, if you take away a couple home games, my business would suffer. And that is true. As we've talked about, the economic effect of an LSU football game is not just revenue at the gate. The ripple effects are massive. So you have to consider that. Scott Dice says, I like the idea of giving money to small Louisiana schools like Northwestern, ULM, La Tech, Southern, and Southeastern. I do too. And it's something that Coach O has been very adamant about and forward about, is that they're going to keep that money in state, build up the state, instead of going out there and getting like a Tennessee State or something like that. So that's fair perspective as well. Another user chimes in, I appreciate the body bag games. Love to see a freshman sneak into play. Plus, for many folks, that's the only time they ever get in the stadium. Another fair point. You know what one thing about these cupcake games that's Austin lost in the shuffle is that they are the most family-friendly games in terms of Tiger Stadium. Not because like the cheering or anything, just because it's going to be easier to get in and out. There's going to be less people. By the end of the game, the stadium's way more empty, so if your kids want to run around a little bit, you generally can. So I don't want to act like there's no advantages to those games. Just from a pure football fan viewer perspective, I can't help but find this all SEC 10-game schedule intriguing. But I want to talk NFL here because Teron Armstead was in the media yesterday, and he laid it out for your New Orleans Saints. He was asked what the goal for this season was. Here's what your all-pro left tackle had to say.
It got to be Super Bowl or bust, in all honesty. That's it. I mean, it's not really anything else past that. It's Super Bowl or bust. Whether we don't get to the big dance, it was a failure of a season. So that's it.
So there you go. I mean, Teron Armstead, you want to talk about drawing a very clear line in the sand. And it's interesting because obviously yes, it is Super Bowl or bust. I mean, we all know about Drew's window, and when you look at the contracts and the guys that they have to decide to extend or not extend, this is a great year for New Orleans. They have one of the strongest top-to-bottom rosters in the league, maybe the strongest, definitely in that top three. The only thing is when I hear a soundbite like that, I can't help but be a bit conflicted. And that's because I lived through the Greenbrier. I saw it firsthand. I'll never forget, I just started in radio about a year or 2 years previous. Like I said, this year's Saints roster, one of the most elite rosters I've ever seen. That said, as a young broadcaster back in 2014, no kids, blacking out on the weekends, as one does in his early 20s. I went to the Greenbrier to cover a team that had lost a tough divisional game to the Seahawks the year before. Remember 2013? Beat the Eagles on the road in the playoffs. Great game. barely lost to the Seahawks, who ended up winning the Super Bowl 23-15 that year. Really good Saints team. Sean Payton was so impressed with that Seattle defense, with Earl the Pearl. He went out and got the biggest free agent name on the market. He went out and got Jarris Byrd. And yeah, Darren Sproles and Malcolm Jenkins had to be sacrificed to make it happen, but who cared? They signed Champ Bailey. Junior Gillette, he's awesome. Remember him? Team captain. Pass rushing extraordinaire. Like, these are all the things we spent a month espousing in the Greenbrier, fawning over this team. We're watching practice and talking about how good everybody looks, even though, to be honest, the defense looked horrible. But we were just going with it because that's what the consensus opinion was. Surely this was a Super Bowl contender, and there could be no doubt. And it wasn't just local. This was national. They were thought to be Super Bowl favorites. Except that they weren't. In fact, they were anything but. I looked up Mike Triplett's 2014 report card, and it begins with a line that sums up all the struggles of that year. Quote, "It's not overstating things to call this the most disappointing season in franchise history." Think about that. A franchise where the fans wore bags on their heads out of shame at how bad they were. Mike Triplett called 2014 the most disappointing franchise history, and I get it. That team would go on to field one of the worst defenses of all time in NFL history. They would lose 5 games in a row in the Superdome, which was just like inexplicable. And yet at the Greenbrier preseason, everything felt good. Everything felt Super Bowl or bust. So make no mistake. I believe now I'm older, perhaps a bit wiser. And I believe that I'm beyond the mistakes of the past. And I don't think that I'm just going along with groupthink with this New Orleans Saints team. I think that if you view the roster objectively, that they're a top 3 roster in the entire NFL. Drew Brees, still a top 5 quarterback, top 3, top 10 player in the NFL. But I can't help but have this little worm of fear just kind of nestled in the back of my head. My brain telling me, you've done this dance before and looked what happened. So I love, on one hand, that Teron Armstead is laying it out, because I absolutely believe that this Saints team should be operating with that as the ultimate goal, especially with what happened 2 years ago, with what happened last year in the playoffs. We'll talk about that game a bit more later as we talk interior offensive line later in the show. So that should be their goal. And I hope to God that you don't fall short like you did that season. I don't think you will, but we'll see. We got a few weeks, like Sean Payton said, no time for games, no time for joking around. He says not any kind of normal training camp. Okay, they're going to take full advantage. Everybody's got to be locked in. You're going to be personally responsible. Do your job. That's what Sean Payton talks about constantly. So the Pelicans could have used of a little last night. Do your job and get ready to take on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers September 13th in the Dome. Breedy versus Braze, Marshawn Lattimore versus Mike Evans. The matchups go on and on. I cannot wait. I'm very excited. See if Teron Armstead's right. All right, when we get back, I'm also super excited to welcome in our next guest. We're going to talk to Pelicans GM Trajan Langdon. We'll ask him about Zion's usage last night. We'll ask him about this roster as a whole and how he views this team going forward in the bubble. This is Off the Bench, 104.5, 100.3, 94.7 ESPN.
Off the Bench with Kalata and T-Bob.
Every day, OTB is brought to you by All-Star Toyota of Baton Rouge. It's right here behind me on the signage. They're on the squad. We love them for that. And I love working with them. I love getting a vehicle with them. I told them I wanted a fully blacked out minivan. And they made it happen. And I love it. The Sienna is a game changer. If you have a family, look into it. I'm being serious. It's time for the change. But maybe you don't. Maybe you just want a brand new truck. $4,500 on a $4,500 customer cash on a 2020 Tundra. 0% APR financing for 72 months on a brand new Camry. $1,500 customer cash on a Highlander hybrid. How about the Sienna? I'm getting 32 miles a gallon. I mean, come on, dude. Let's go. Economical, room for the kids, sensible, the best. Just like All-Star Toyota of Baton Rouge. So go to allstartoyotaofbatonrouge.com today.
In times of need, get a full list of phone numbers, websites, and other important emergency information on the Demco Stormwatch page at 1045ESPN.com.
Oh, hey, what's up? It's Big V and Bubba, 100.7 The Tiger Morning Show. We'd love for you to join us every weekday, 4 a.m. till 9 a.m.
Yeah, everything you want in a show. Country music. We got laughs. We got celebrity in-studio guests. We just need you.
Join us every weekday morning, 4 a.m. to 9 a.m., right where it all started.
That's right. Louisiana's country station, 100.7 The Tiger.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is a local bank with a straightforward philosophy.
It's about doing the right thing for our customers.
Participating in our community with annual local fundraisers, offering individual attention in a modern banking atmosphere with a trusted local company. Gulf Coast Bank invested in technology with a local touch, giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime.
We're building relationships through personal service as the bank that cares about you.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Ochsner.
If I built a van, it would do more than haul.
It would carry my entire business. I'd make it available in dozens, make not thousands of configurations.
It would keep an eye on my fleet.
And an eye out for danger.
If I built a van, I'd make it available in diesel and gas. And I'd build it right here in South Carolina.
Introducing the all-new Sprinter, starting at $33,790. Built in the USA. Mercedes-Benz. Vans. Born to run.
Service Mastery Elite.
Tonight on Game Time, Jimmy Ott and Ben Mintz react to the Pelicans losing their first game of the restart in heartbreaking fashion. We're live from Just Winging It on Hoosha2 from 6 to 8 p.m. Come say hello or tune in to 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Jordy Collada and T-Bob Hebert. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
Welcome back to Off the Bench. 104.5, 100.3, 94.7 ESPN. This unlicensed music is representative of how I feel right now. I am very giddy to talk to this next guest. I love the New Orleans Pelicans. I love the transformation of the franchise that has taken place over the last year. And right now, we're going to get to speak with one of the key members behind that transformation. Of course, I'm talking about Pelicans GM Trajan Langdon. Trajan, thank you so much for joining us this morning, man.
Hey, good morning. Thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I really appreciate it, too. Look, last night was tough. A lot of basketball left to be played. A lot of good last night, some bad as well. Let's just go ahead and talk about what everybody's kind of wondering about today off the jump. And that is Zion Williamson last night, his usage, 15 minutes. I guess a lot of fans just want to know, why wasn't Zion in the game late last night?
I think for us, it's a pretty easy answer. Look, the health and safety is the most important thing for everybody right now. And I think coming back and playing basketball at such a high level after such a long period of time of not playing 5-on-5, I mean, it's been 4.5 months since Zion had played a competitive game of 5-on-5. And I think what a lot of people forget to remember is we had a long lead up to this. And, with the help of our performance team, we put together a plan for all of our players and all of our team in terms of ramping up and getting them to the point where we felt we could keep them safe in an NBA game like we did last night. And I thought they put together a hell of a plan leading up to this. And, we went through some hard practices for 2 weeks, and then we had 3 scrimmage games.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, Zion wasn't able to play in those scrimmage games. And if you look at the minutes, all of our players' minutes were held back.
Mm-hmm.
But that was ramping up to that first game. And so this was a scrimmage game for Zion in terms of that. We got to ramp him up. We can't just throw him out there for 20, 25 minutes. So that was the plan that we had in place. And again, the health and safety of our players is the greatest concern right now.
Yeah, and when you look at last night's box score, Trajan, something that jumps off the page to me, and really did just watching that game last night, is it just feels like, a year ago that this Pelicans roster was paper thin. Now this is a Pelicans roster that has a ton of depth. The minutes that you were getting from guys last night, whether it was Jackson Hayes giving you valuable minutes, Josh Hart as he does, 10, 11 players, like y'all were deeper than the Jazz. You're the man, you're kind of the architect behind that depth. What were your takeaways from all the guys that got action in last night's game?
Yeah, I think that's one strength that we do have is our depth, and that's helped us through the season because we've had a good amount of injuries. Obviously, when the regular season happened, whether it was Derek Favors or obviously Zion for his length of time, but I think we were able to withstand all of those because of our depth, and people filled in, and it's not like we played great basketball, but it's not like we're still in a position to make a run, which was, I thought we were playing some very good basketball when the break happened. In terms of last night, you could take away a lot of positives from the game. I think Jackson has, you talked about Jackson, his activity, his ability to impact the game on both ends was huge for us last night. I just think we have the ability to use different lineups at different times in the game, where we can go big, we can go small, we can go shooting, we can go slashing, we can go defensive. And I think that is a weapon that we'll continue to need to use in these seeding games here. But I think we're all really excited for the prospects of this roster moving forward.
Yeah, and when you look at the roster as a whole, Jackson Hayes to me is almost like representative of the roster, right? Like he has that gangly deer sort of feel. You could tell that he just like bursting with speed and potential. He's just still a little awkward. His knees are kind of knobbling, knocking around. He's just figuring this thing out. And so when I look at this Pelicans team and I see a team they've struggled in crunch time this year, and credit to the Jazz. That's where the Jazz have been spectacular this year. So that was a fear going into last night. Are those struggles? Like you've been in basketball for so long. Are those struggles the hallmark of a team kind of as young as the Pelicans are?
I think you put it really, really well. I think you hit the nail on the head. That, you have to learn to win games. But to learn to win games, you have to be in the situation at crunch time. And we felt that in probably my second year in Brooklyn, and even the first half of the year with that team, is we were in games we couldn't win. We were in games we couldn't win, and all of a sudden, bang, we were in the same games and we started winning because we figured out what it took. And I think that's the stage that we're at. We're now at the start of this year. Griffin and I talked about, what is the goal for the season? Obviously, everybody wants to get in the playoffs, but with the young team that we had, it was let's get to the point where we can play meaningful basketball. And if it means we win those games and get in, great. If it means we lose those games and we just miss getting in, that's good too, because it's going to leave a taste in our guys' mouth that they want more and they want to get in the next year, and they're going to know what they need to work on to take that next step. So we are playing meaningful games, and I thought we played well for probably 40 minutes of a 48-minute game. But as you said before, these are some of the things that have kind of haunted us all year, is kind of executing and finishing games. But, hopefully we'll continue to learn.
Yeah, and that's something that we've been kind of stressing on this morning show as well, is that the vision for this team is long term, and the long term future looks bright. So it's very fun in the moment, and you absolutely want to win. But yeah, it's not worth exposing somebody like Zion to unnecessary risk for these games. I want to talk about Brandon Ingram a little bit here. Trajan, we're talking to Pels GM Trajan Langdon. Huge thanks for joining us on today's program. Brandon Ingram, he is going to be the guy for these 8 games, as he should be. He's your all-star wing, should be comeback player of the year. Last night, very productive at times. Shots weren't always falling. That last one, a good look, so close. What do you tell Brandon Ingram after that? Like how do you encourage him to not shy away from those moments? I like that he wanted to have the ball in his hand at the end.
Well, Brandon is an off-the-charts worker. He's quiet, he's soft-spoken, but he is quietly competitive. He wants to win. He wants to be as great as he can be, and he puts in the work to do it. He came back stronger from the pandemic. In terms of you could tell he's been in the weight room lifting. He's stronger than he was, than back in March. He's been putting in the time. He's getting his shots up. He really studies his craft. He watches a ton of film on all kind of players that he can pick from, present, prior. He's receptive. He's coachable. And those are the moments he wants. He relishes those moments. And like any great player, you're not going to make all of them.
Yep.
But the fact that you have the mental fortitude to want to take that shot, not only take it, but make the move and get it off. And I'm sure it's a shot that he shot thousands of times in his gym by himself, probably thinking this is a game-winning shot, knocking it down. He was really, really frustrated last night and disappointed that ball didn't go down. But I think we all want him taking that shot. All of his teammates have belief in him. And I have no doubt that he'll continue to take those shots in the future.
I want to ask about one of the other guards, a guy that I have really fallen for throughout this season, and that is Lonzo Ball. And I feel for him a bit, right, because throughout the year he has made himself into a legitimate three-point threat. He shot the ball very well this year. But, maybe a lot of people were coming on board for the first time last night, and what they witnessed, they're like, oh, why is Lonzo shooting? Same old Lonzo. He struggled from the field last night. What's the message? I guess where's his head at? And then what's the message to him going forward in this bubble?
Zoe's he's been great in our practices leading up to this. Our whole team has had a really good spirit, and we've come in every day, no BS, and put in really good work to get to the place where we are now. And he's been really, like I said, he's been 8 shots. He's the one coming back at night, getting up extra shots after practice every day, working with Fred Vince. And so I feel bad for him too, because he's put in the time, he's put in the work. And it was paying off when we led into the break back in February, March. He was playing some high level basketball. He'll get back to it.
Yeah.
I feel bad because those shots didn't go down, but he kept making plays for us on the defensive end. He plays unselfish basketball, gets other people involved. And so if the shot's not going down, that's not the only way that Zoe impacts the game. But, we have confidence in him and want him to keep taking those good open 3-point shots that he was taking. So they'll go down and they'll help us win some games here.
Yeah. So tough love last night, but no time to feel bad for yourself. You got the Clippers coming up next. Obviously, they had their own tough loss in a battle with the Lakers last night, so you're going to be looking at a couple salty teams going toe to toe. What's
right.
what's the message? What's the mood around the locker room? As fans, I think we're more slaves to the moment, whereas players, they're a bit more like, okay, we got to move on, we got to get ready. What's the tenor of the guys today?
I haven't seen him yet today. It's early. It was a later game last night. Obviously not a late one, but the emotions run high, especially in a game like that. I can't imagine any of our guys were sleeping before 2 or 3 in the morning. So
yeah,
just kind of the way it runs. I mean, us as fans and even executives at times can watch the games and say, we'll move on. Big picture, those guys are in it, man. I mean, a tough loss like that, our guys are down here to make some noise, and I think they know we need to win 6 or 7 games. So a game like that makes it, even more challenging. So I think guys will come in locked and ready and want to get one back against a really good Clippers team tomorrow, which presents another big time challenge for us. So I'm sure they'll come ready. Their mindset is going to be different than ours. I mean, they're just trying to get ready for the playoffs, whereas every game is extremely important to us right now.
I love it, man, and I can't wait to watch this weekend. I will say this. It just felt – the NBA's done such a good job with that bubble. It felt so damn good to feel those emotions watching live sports again. Like, yeah, it was a gut punch when that shot didn't fall at the end, but that is a gut punch that I've been missing.
Yeah, no, Adam Silver and the NBA, they've done a fantastic job, and Griff and I have talked about it numerous times. Like, they've gone above and beyond all expectations. We never thought that they'd be able to set it up like this, not only from a everyday living and training perspective and health and safety perspective, but now the gameplay is, considering there's no fans and, it's just basically some TVs wrapped around a court. It's a virtual soundstage that we're playing basketball on. It's pretty fantastic what they've done and what they've been able to execute.
Yeah, it's awesome, man. Trajan Langdon, your Pelicans GM, tough loss last night. The boys are going to bounce back this weekend. Hey, man, thank you so much for waking up with us from the bubble this morning.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate all your support. Go Pels.
Hell yeah. Love it. Okay, Trajan, I see you. A little Coach O there. A little sign off with Go Pels every time. Hey, it plays. It plays in the market. Real talk, I guess, like, do y'all know Trajan Langdon's resume at all? Like, I feel like that's a name that I get very excited about. I wonder how much the general public knows at times.
Yeah, he comes from the Spurs mold.
He comes from the Spurs school, which people, Monty Williams, like, people made, that's not always a guaranteed grade, but what I focus on even more, he was a key part in putting that Nets team together. They got good out of nowhere. He's one of the most forward-thinking, very young, successful minds in NBA front offices. It's why David Griffin tabbed him to leave Brooklyn, come down to New Orleans. And he's one of the main reasons why the future looks so bright. Like, he is a far cry from what you dealt with in Dell Demps over these last few years. So it's exciting times. And we'll see if the boys can bounce back this weekend. All right, we'll close up hour number 2 when we get back. And then we got Cole Kublik coming up later in the show. Have more Saints talk as I want to talk about Cesar Ruiz as well as some other stuff in that final hour. We'll get into it all here on Off the Bench. 104.5 100 the 94.7 ESPN.
Off the Bench with Kalana and T-Bob.
Go to centralplumbing.org today for any plumbing problems that you have. Storms are rolling in. Seems like constantly because it's 2020, so of course it does. And so if you want a home generator, you don't want to lose power, Central Plumbing can sell and install you that home generator so that you protect like your fridge and your freezer, and you don't have to worry about actually playing with your kids. Oh, disgusting. Just give them electronics to watch. With a home generator, thanks to Central Plumbing, you can do that. Also, if you're like me, and, you do things to the bathroom sometimes, if anything breaks down, you go to centralplumbing.org. They got your back, man. Licensed, bond insured. You can trust who's coming into your home. You can trust the quality of the work. The warranty gives you peace of mind. Flat rate pricing structure means no surprises. So call 925-8552 today or go to centralplumbing.org.
We opened up the playbook and expanded our coverage. Listen daily in high definition on 98.1 HD2. We are 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
This isn't just another day. It's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her auctioneer primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an auctioneer care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Auctioneer Baton Rouge, innovating healthcare for Kelly.
Crime has serious consequences, but anyone can make a mistake. If you find yourself in trouble with the law, know that you have rights, and it's okay to demand them. The law offices of O.C. Brown are here to protect you and your rights. Felony or misdemeanor, DUI or drug charge. No matter what crime you're accused of, you still have rights. Let the law offices of O.C. Brown uphold them. Call 225-343-1111. Your law firm for a lifetime.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is a local bank with a straightforward philosophy.
It's about doing the right thing for our customers.
Participating in our community with annual local fundraisers, offering individual attention in a modern banking atmosphere with a trusted local company. Gulf Coast Bank invested in technology with a local touch, giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime.
We're building relationships through personal service as the bank that cares about you.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
Yo, join us for a Friday TGIF edition of Hanging with Hester and Hanny presented by Richard Honda. Hey, Hanny, is Flynn going to show up?
I don't know. Jimmy's laying 5-2 against.
Doesn't look good for your boy, but we're going to have a great show on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Jordy Collada and T-Bob Hebert. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
What up, y'all? Welcome back. OTB. Preparing to enter OTB OT. Got a great next hour planned for you. Got Cole Kublik kicking off the hour as he does every Friday, brought to you by Tex Morris. We're going to talk about this SEC schedule, if he's heard anything about potential opponents down the road, how he feels about a 10-game SEC schedule. We'll also pick his brain on college football as a whole, ACC, Notre Dame, all that. Cole's just great to talk college football with. Jimmy Ott, stick around. Remember, the Ott Father. Game time with Jimmy Ott coming up 9:30. Otter's going to drop in, give you picks for the weekend. I want to have some Saints talk. I want to explore what it's like to be Cesar Ruiz right now, right? To be the first-round pick. We talked about what Miles is having to deal with in this truncated offseason. Well, what's it like being a first-round pick that's expected to start at center for Drew Brees and the New Orleans Saints offense when you can't even get a single preseason game? And what are the knock-on effects? What are the potential pitfalls? As we all know, the kryptonite to Drew Brees, really the kryptonite to any quarterback, but especially Brees, given his height, relative lack of mobility, is interior pressure. A lot of that's going to hinge on Ruiz. So we'll break that all down as well. Coming up next hour, boys, what do you got going on this weekend? What's on the docket? Musa?
Probably not much, man. I know I'm going to play some golf.
Okay.
Other than that, I just take it easy. Your boy kind of needs a bit of a break.
Watch
here.
baseball? Are you struggling with the adjustment to the mornings here? It's
yeah.
okay. Be
yeah,
honest.
no,
Dude,
yeah, of course. I knew that would happen, though. I'm very much not a morning person at all. But, we did it once before, so we can do it again. But it's July. July took a toll on the liver, so we gotta take a little bit of a break.
Yeah,
here.
dude, just a nice chill weekend.
Yeah.
Sounds like you need a little detox weekend. Watch a little baseball. Maybe lay out, get a little sun. Or you're going golfing. That'll feel great.
Yeah,
get a little sun, get a little vitamin D. Danny, what do you got going on this weekend?
I'll be in New Orleans watching the Pelicans game.
Yep.
Clippers.
Cougar
They're gonna
hunt?
bounce back for sure.
Yeah.
No cougar.
Yep, cougar hunting as Danny does every weekend. Good luck on your hunt. I guess I'm keeping it pretty. I guess this question really doesn't play as well during the pandemic because nobody's really doing anything ever. I am a great person though. and I'm going to take my children to see their great-grandmother in the nursing home in New Orleans today. So not to say that I'm better than both of you, but I don't see any of you doing anything that familial, so, credit to me. And outside of that, yeah, I'm with you, man. I'm just trying to get my mind ready to bounce back, watch this Pelicans game, take a little baseball over the weekend, have some drinks on Saturday night. Just keep it nice and relaxed. No fun fishing or anything like that. Though I am hyped about this. Have you all ever heard of Pirates of Dark Water?
No.
An old cartoon?
Actually, I have. That's because you've talked about it on the show, but that's it.
Oh, okay. Well, I just ordered that DVD. It was for my dad's birthday, the full collection. So we love Pirates of Dark Water, but only 21 episodes. And we have these incredible VHS recordings of a Cartoon Network marathon from like the mid-90s. And it's awesome. The commercials, everything. It's like a giant time warp. It's awesome. But we only have 13 episodes. So although I've watched this show, I've watched those 13 episodes a million times. I love this show. My dad used to call me Rin, who was the main character back in the day. Despite the connection I have, I've never actually seen the ending of the series. And it just came in the mail yesterday. I have the DVDs. I'm very excited. So this Saturday night, I will be devoting myself. Me and my little brother, he's coming over. We're gonna finish finally. After 20 years, 2 decades, since the mid-90s, we're going to finally finish this Pirates of Dark Water series off and see what it's all about. I can't wait. One of the most underrated cartoons ever. Pirates of Dark Water. Johnny Quest. Original Johnny Quest. I wasn't as much into the Quest Return back in the day. 2 of the absolute best. And we'll welcome in one of the best next hour as Cole Kublik kicks it off here in about 4 minutes. So stick around. Here and Off the Bench, 104.5, 100.3, and 94.7 ESPN.
Off the Bench with Kalata and T-Bob.
All right, I'm going to stall for a little time as I figure out the SecureShreddingRecycling.com. That's it. Stall for a little time. You see all these papers right here? A lot of notes go into making this show happen, right? What if I needed to get rid of these documents because they have important information on them they can't get out? And we go to SecureShreddingRecycling.com, the local company, the LSU grads. Give you a better rate than the national guys. Give you a better attention to detail than national guys. Better customer service. They're local. You can actually get them on the phone. So look, our entire listening area, whether you're in New Orleans, Baton Rouge, Alexandria, they've got you covered. In fact, in New Orleans and Baton Rouge, they have drop-off points. In Alexandria, they got one coming. They can also bring the trucks out to your place of business. Remember, you mentioned Off the Bench. Get a couple hard drives destroyed for free. So what are you waiting for? Go to SecureShreddingRecycling.com.
0% for 72 months on all new 2020 F-150s. Visit Bayou Ford for a new 2020 Ford F-150 with 0% for 72 months. And all new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million-mile powertrain warranty. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
104.5 ESPN invites you to take a short quiz for a chance to win a brand new EU1000 generator from our friends at Bozeman Distributors. Simply go to 1045ESPN.com now through August 16th and take the quiz to see how prepared you are for hurricane season. Everyone who takes the quiz is automatically entered to win the generator. Our winner will be chosen on Monday, August 17th. Get prepared for hurricane season from 104.5 ESPN and stay prepared with Bozeman Distributors.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Citizens Bank is proud to bring you the Fan of the Week. But during these times with no fans, Citizens Bank is switching its support to the Banking on BR campaign to raise money for the Baton Rouge Food Bank. You can help out by visiting brfoodbank.org or bankingonbr.com.
If I built a van, it would do more than haul.
It would carry my entire business. I'd make it available in dozens, if not thousands of configurations.
It would keep an eye on my fleet. And an eye out for danger.
If I built a van, I'd make it available in diesel and gas. And I'd build it right here in South Carolina.
Introducing the all-new Sprinter, starting at $33,790. Built in the USA. Mercedes-Benz. Vans. Born to run.
Rouge. This hour is brought to you by Spencer Callahan Injury Lawyers.
Good morning, everyone. It is Friday, July the 31st here on Off the Bench. And in Baton Rouge today, expect partly cloudy skies with a high of 91. In case you missed hours 1 or 2 of the show, catch that up at the on-demand section right now at 1045ESPN.com. Brought to you by Carriages. Coming up on OTBOT, Cole Kublik from the SEC Network talks college football next. The Yacht Father, Jimmy Yacht, stops by at 9:30. Follow today's show inside the 1045 ESPN Huddle app, brought to you by Bayou Ford on Twitter or Instagram at OTB_ESPN. You can watch us live right now at the 1045 ESPN YouTube channel. Get over to the Off the Bench YouTube channel, subscribe, hit your notifications for new content daily. OTBOT starts right now.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Jordy Collada and T-Bob Hebert. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
Welcome back. OTBOT starting now. Look, there's a quickly developing story on Twitter. Shout out to anonymous user in the huddle who put us on it. This is so breaking that it is only on Twitter. There are no articles written about it yet, but it appears as if today's Cardinals Brewers game is postponed, and that the Cardinals are self-isolating in their hotel. We'll give you more information as we learn the deets. But right now, let's go to the man who understands the devil's in the deets when it comes to college football. And that's my main man. You know him. You love him. He's on here every week, brought to you by Tex Morris, of course. I'm talking about my guy, Cole Kublik. Cole, what's up, bro?
I'm doing great. How are you guys?
We're good. We're good. I mean, all things considered. Are you a basketball guy at all? You watch any of those games last night? You on the Pelicans bandwagon?
I'm not on the Pelicans bandwagon, so to speak, but I did watch the majority of that game last night. I tried to watch all of Lakers Clippers, and I think I fell asleep right before halftime. So,
I mean, who else are you going to cheer for, Cole? If not the Pelicans, geographically, we're right there.
I've never had an NBA team. I've always been kind of been an individual guy in the NBA. Speaking of geographically, I was a huge Shaq fan. When he went to the Lakers, I was done. I was like, nope, I can't do that because I was kind of anti-Lakers my entire life. So I don't know. I don't really have a true rooting interest in an NBA team, but I do love the NBA. So I'll be watching. I'll be dialed in. New Orleans needed that game last night. I will say that. And it was just kind of a late meltdown. We neither team looking great from the perimeter early on, and obviously with Zion being limited, I think that probably played a big part in why they weren't able to close it out.
I have a Chinese red Pelican. I just mean that I got it like right when the ping pong ball drops. So it's from some knockoff China company. But I have a Chinese red Pelicans jersey that is a Zion jersey, and I'm entirely too fat for it. You're very skinny now, Cole, after all your Peloton. Do you want me to send it your way? Maybe you hop on this bandwagon?
I am definitely not skinny now, and based on what happened with my wife's surgery, the Peloton Ing took a little bit of a break. So I'm kind of trying to get back going into it. I had 5.5 weeks solo at home during the week with my 3-year-old, 5-year-old.
Whoa.
Which meant not so much Pelotoning.
Wow.
and it meant kind of getting back to my normal weight. So we're trying to work it back down a little bit, trying to get the diet dialed back in, especially now that we got some football in the books.
Well, Cole, you're a beast. So let's talk about football because yesterday college football is starting to take shape. ACC announcing early in the week they're going conference only, +1, whatever that ends up being. Adding Notre Dame, that's fascinating. But let's start with the SEC. They went ahead and followed suit. They come out yesterday. The presidents agree, according to SI, 10-game schedule, SEC only. What the additional 2 games are not clear yet. What was your initial reaction to hearing that 10-game schedule?
Not a ton of surprise. I think if there was any surprise, T-Bob, it was just that there was no room for non-conference games. You didn't know if it was going to be, hey, we'll leave one weekend open for you to have them, or here's the 8 or 10-game conference schedule. If you want to try to do something else on your own, you can. But I don't think you can really be surprised with anybody going conference only right now, because this is going to be about flexibility and control. And you want to be able to have as much control as humanly possible with your entity. The ADs, the players, the schools, the stadiums, the geography, the travel, the testing protocol. You want to have as much control as you can. And I think by going through conference-only games, you're able to do that. Am I going to sit here and tell you that I think I'm 100% certain that none of this decision had to do with the ACC, the picture being painted, they sort of painted the SEC into a corner or backed them down into a corner or had them on the ropes, so to speak, or threw the paint around the corner and was going to make them walk in it?
Oh, that's is that what 40 said? Yeah.
Correct. I'm not 100% going to sit here and tell you that I don't think that had anything to do with it. I think that I feel like the ACC was a little bit obsessed with scheduling Notre Dame and getting that deal done, and good for them because, yesterday we played the clip from Goodfellas on our show of, what it mmade me think of was Notre Dame and the ACC negotiating basically was when, F you pay me. You want to schedule? F you pay me. You want 8 conference games? F you pay me. You want a chance to compete for our conference championship? F you pay me.
Yeah.
And that's what that made me think of. And guess what? Notre Dame paid. We never thought we would see Notre Dame's knees buckle. And we did a little bit in this instance. They had to give a little to get a little. And that just hasn't happened much in their history because it hasn't had to happen. But now it did. So I think that maybe there's a little bit of posturing. Maybe there's a little bit of, hey, we don't really have to have you. And maybe there's just a little bit of Greg Sankey saying, hey, I had to do what was best for 14 teams and not what was best for 4 teams.
Yeah.
And in the end of the day, that's what it's all about.
I mean, yeah, I guess that's kind of where my head's at, Cole. Like, I see 40 and others trying to drum up some drama around this situation, and I just can't find the angle. Like, I can't see it. Like, from where I sit, as soon as the Big Ten made their choice, all of this kind of felt like an inevitability for the exact reasons that you named. This is a control thing. Control the variables. It's why the bubble in the NBA, the MLS, is working better than what the MLB is doing currently. There's just less variables in play. So, of course, you want to keep it to a more codified, more geographically convenient sort of setting, and so you can kind of inoculate yourself as much as possible against the outside world. So, yeah, I'm not buying any of this. I mean, what did you lose? Clemson, South Carolina? Georgia Tech, Georgia? Like, what's the biggest game that was lost in going conference only between the SEC and the ACC? Granted, LSU, Texas may be the biggest one overall. Like, I don't feel that you lost a lot not getting with the ACC.
No, and I think that if you have to go back and look at what happened at the end of this schedule as well, T-Bob, with the dates that are open before the SEC championship game and the SEC championship game being able to move. If we're going to play divisions and there's a game that needs to be played that wasn't able to be played to decide who's going to go play in Atlanta or wherever that game's going to be, well, that flexibility is something that you're going to have. And if there's a non-conference game on the books, would you be able to get out of it? And I think people kind of don't understand with non-conference games, like the SEC can shuffle their teams around however they feel necessary. If LSU has an opponent that's not able to play and Missouri is off that week, they can call Missouri and say, hey, you're going to Baton Rouge to play.
That would be
or, hey,
great.
LSU's coming to Columbia to play this week. We're going to get that game in. It's going to happen. So you can't do that when you're playing ACC teams or teams from other conferences. They might not buy it. They might not buy that. They might not say that they're willing to do that. So the flexibility is going to be massive, especially towards the end of the season if you're trying to decide championships. And that's why I think you just, to me, like the ship has sailed on fans. To me, going conference only is a smart thing to do. Let's just try to get 8-10 games in.
Oh yeah.
And then just let the chips fall where they may. And I think we'd all be extremely happy if that took place.
Yeah, and kind of ironically, Cole, a 10-game SEC only schedule is actually much more attractive than just a regular college football schedule from a pure viewer perspective. I mean, it's going to be a grind on these players. I mean, we were talking about earlier, imagine being Miles Brennan. You've already had this weird offseason. You have the biggest shoes to fill ever. And now on top of it, you got a harder and a more grindy schedule than really any of your peers. Well, I mean, maybe last year's LSU team in the 15 games did something similar, but still, it's going to be brutal. You're going from 8 to 10 games in conference. There's some ideas about how those next two games could work out. Do you just do the next two teams in the rotation? It sounds like they may try to do something a little more competitively balanced. Do you have any insight as to how they're going to assign those next two?
I mean, my only thought, the only thing that I can think of that's fair, and again, the number one lesson that I try to teach my kids on a daily basis is life ain't fair, but would be to take the next two cross-divisional opponents that are on your future schedules or the last two that you most recently played that are not on your schedule now.
Okay.
That way, I don't know how anyone can argue with that. If you're going to try to come up with a formula from a winning percentage perspective, I think that only opens the door for people to complain even more and people to be more upset about the how and whys those teams got on your schedule. So if you can find something that I guess is already written somehow, somewhere, and just apply it to this individual circumstance, I think that might be the best thing for everybody involved because you're essentially just taking something that's already laid out and then applying it to the now. If you were to say, teams who had the best winning percentage are going to play teams with the worst winning percentage, or you earned the right to play this team at home, I don't know how you do that and make it anything understandable or somewhat fair at all. So for me, I think you're probably looking at being able to take the teams that are already on the schedule or either were on the schedule and then putting them in this year and just kind of going with it because people are going to be unhappy no matter what. Some teams are going to love it. Some teams are going to hate it. Some teams are going to find a way to be mad about it. But the reality is you got to do it and you got to find a way to go with it. I mean, are Alabama and Florida going to be pissed off that they have to play each other? Yeah, probably. But hell, Alabama also gets Vanderbilt. So, I mean, how mad could you be?
Yeah, exactly.
If it were your next two cross-divisional opponents. So, I mean, I mean, look at it from LSU's perspective. See, we talked about this yesterday on my show in Birmingham. Everybody obsesses with those A-plus games. But, Alabama, Florida, that's an A-plus game for both schools. But then you get Vanderbilt. Well, what about LSU? You get Kentucky and Tennessee. In my opinion, those are two B-plus games.
Yeah, I love them.
Those are two teams that have a chance to be pretty good.
Yep.
So what would you rather have? Would you rather have an A-plus and a C-minus or a D-plus game? Or would you rather have two B-plus games? I mean, at least give me the damn D-plus game or the C-minus game.
I agree.
I got a good feeling we can go get that win. So, I mean, it works itself out. Some are going to be better than others. Some might get a little bit of a benefit, but I don't know how anybody complains about anything right now. We got football coming. It's a schedule. We're going to be able to play like this. I mean, here's the other part. It's a 10-game SEC schedule, man. It ain't easy for anybody.
No.
Nobody's getting off on this deal. This is going to be an MFer no matter what. So, buckle your junk, snap your chin strap, and let's go. It's going to be hell no matter who you are.
You want me to buckle my genitals, Cole? I don't think I understand. Is that like something you do before football games?
Figure it out.
Okay, I'll do my best.
It's medieval slang. You should know.
So if you do go, yeah, that's what all the knights did. This is known. It's in the chivalric code. Okay, look it up. If you did go next to opponents, Cole, it's hard. We'll get you out of here after this one. Is there a bigger loser in that equation than Florida having to add Texas A&M and Bama to the schedule?
Well, let's think about this for 1 minute. And no, probably not. I don't think so. But if we play this 10-game SEC schedule, how much different do we look at Texas A&M? Because I did a show earlier this morning, and they asked me for sort of my underdog sleep. Like, do you have a sleeper pick in the SEC? Well, that's been A&M for a while, largely based on the schedule. But if we're just going 10 SEC games, I mean, I think your mentality of what A&M has a chance to be probably changes a little bit because the schedule is not what it was. So, like, I think, yeah, A&M's going to be a tough game because they have a veteran quarterback. They got some good players, the best group of tight ends in college football. And so, yes, that's difficult for Florida. And I'm sure when that was discussed, Florida was probably one of the teams at the front of the pack that was saying, hold on now. This we don't like this. This is not good. This is not right. But I think that I'm going to view A&M as a little bit of a different team if that scenario is actually what ends up playing out. Or actually, no matter how it plays out.
Yeah.
So the 10-game SEC schedule, I mean, I don't look at A&M as we're looking at them as a 10-win team before. I'm not sure I look at them as an 8-win team now. Just because that's a very different schedule that you have to go through. Like, I think my opinion of LSU would change because I just think LSU is set up better to be able to manage that.
Yeah.
I think when you look at the depth in the trenches on both sides of the ball, especially on defense, some of the skill guys that are coming back, the veterans that were there that just went and won a championship, like, I think mentally, emotionally, like, they're better prepared to go handle that. So this schedule was going to change my opinion on a few teams because there are some that are just better prepared to go through it, and there are some that were going to greatly benefit from the schedule that they had before, and now they won't.
You've given me a lot to think about, Cole. These are some things like I haven't even considered. You're right. I mean, this does change how you view teams. It also changes how we like. What's the metric now? Is it 8 wins? Is 8 wins what the fan base should be happy with? Is it 9? These are all questions that we'll continue to explore. But Cole, I've already kept you long. I know you have a ton to do. Thank you so much, Cole Cubelic at Cole Cubelic on Twitter. Catch him on the SC Network on WJUX Radio. You're an excellent father, Cole, and I hope you have a great weekend.
Love you guys.
All right, Cole, take it easy, man. Yeah, what do y'all think? What is the acceptable win-loss now? Because I've always I've been pretty lax with LSU. I've said 9-3 with 10-3 to get you to a bowl game. A lot of people have pushed back and said, I remember we talked to Peter Burns like about a month and a half ago, and he was saying, hell no. Like, I think it's like 11-1 that you need to be able to pull off. So what is that? What is it in the SEC schedule? Is it 9-1?
I think it depends on the team. I think
for LSU, let's say from the LSU perspective, coming off of a national championship.
9-1, yeah. That's what I'd go with. I don't know if 8 does it. I mean, 8-2 would be equivalent to 10-2.
Yeah.
So, I mean, maybe.
That'll be
maybe so.
That would get 8-2. I think would get the more level-headed of the fan bases would be, more level-headed members would be, I think, they'd be pleased with that, especially given everything that you've lost. 9-1, I think almost everybody's happy.
Yeah.
Like if you're not, you're just you're just kind of one of those stubborn whatever. I want to go undefeated every year anyway. You're like Hunt Palmer at that point. All you care about is a natty and nothing else matters.
But I mean, for somebody like Alabama, it's going to be 10 wins. Like if they don't get to 10 wins, it's over. Like they're going to be mad.
Well, I just think they just got to make the West, right? They just got to make the SC championship. And if that's 9-1, I don't think it matters. Then they'll get in. They'll get into whatever. If there is a playoff, they will get in to the playoff. As would LSU, if they were 9-1 and then won the SEC to go to 10-1, they would get in as well. So maybe that's the new bar then. 9-1. I can't wait to see what the new schedule looks like. Starts on September 26th. So if you're just hearing about this for the first time. SEC Championship tentatively scheduled for December 19th. All right, when we get back, I want to talk some Saints football here on Off the Bench, 104.5, 100.3, 94.7 ESPN.
OTB, OT. Off the Bench, Hanging with Hester and Hanny. After Further Review and more are all live daily on the 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge YouTube page. Subscribe now to interact with us inside the live chat. Find highlights for each show's channel and get notified whenever we go live.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Ochsner.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is a local bank with a straightforward philosophy.
It's about doing the right thing for our customers.
Participating in our community with annual local fundraisers, offering individual attention in a modern banking atmosphere with a trusted local company. Gulf Coast Bank invested in technology with a local touch, giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime.
We're building relationships through personal service as the bank that cares about you.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
To all of our heroes working on the front lines of this COVID-19 pandemic, your bravery and selflessness represent the very best of us, and we want to say thank you. I'm asking everyone around the state to join me in celebrating the heroism of our healthcare professionals on the 19th of every month at 1900 hours, that's 7 p.m. Write a note of appreciation, make plans to donate to charitable organizations, or say a prayer. To learn more, visit 19thanks.org. Thank you, and God bless.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
Crime has serious consequences, but anyone can make a mistake. If you find yourself in trouble with the law, know that you have rights, and it's okay to demand them. The law offices of O.C. Brown are here to protect you and your rights. Felony or misdemeanor, DUI or drug charge. No matter what crime you're accused of, you still have rights. Let the law offices of O.C. Brown uphold them. Call 225-343-1111. Your law firm for a lifetime.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona inviting you to join us for Friday's AFR presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar. Recapping the Pels restart. More reaction to the SEC conference-only schedule, and Terrio joins us. 3 to 6, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
OTB OT with T-Bob Hebert, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
What up, y'all? Welcome back. OTB OT, hour number 3. Got Jimmy on giving you some picks coming up next. We were trying to figure out in the commercial break where the angle is on the ACC, getting one over in the SEC. I'm not even being an SEC homer. I don't have a lot of conference pride. I don't. I think you can sound like you do at times because objectively it's just obviously the best college football conference. But yeah, I don't know if I see it. I mean, the SEC schedule got better by replacing, an uncompetitive South Carolina Clemson matchup with whoever South Carolina will play instead. Or Georgia Tech, same type deal. Georgia will now face a tougher team in their stead. Georgia Tech was really bad last year. Love their strength coach, but they were really bad last year. The biggest loss in the SEC only schedule is LSU Texas. And it sucks and it hurts. But I do kind of like that we get to continue to lord over Texas for another year, maybe another 2 years whenever this game eventually gets rescheduled. I'll be there for it. I'll be very excited for it. But sorry, Texas. You're going to have to deal with 3rd and 17 being the lasting memory for a little bit longer. Okay? Remember McConaughey doing this thing to the crowd? Didn't work out so well, did it? Let's talk New Orleans Saints. A lot of times, great writers spur thoughts. Nick Underhill, NewOrleansFootball.com. Go check it out, see if you want to subscribe. Or NewOrleans.football. Either one works. He had just a little interesting piece, a paragraph in a larger kind of collection of little thoughts on Cesar Ruiz and the idea of him being on the clock. And it makes sense because in Ruiz, you're talking about a first-round pick. First-round picks are expected to play immediately. They're expected to do well immediately. Eric McCoy at center is a high draft pick last season, did very well immediately. He was the most second penalized center in the league, but outside of those penalties, which makes sense for a young guy, he was really good. And so a lot of people were kind of scratching their head, well, why'd you go back to the well again? You thought McCoy already filled that void. Why'd you go get Ruiz? And the answer becomes because you're trying to maximize Drew Brees this season. Maybe the last chance. And you're trying to squeeze every drop of production out of him that you can. And so Sean Payton says that Cesar Ruiz and Eric McCoy are going to rotate at center throughout this training camp period, if you can call it that. We'll figure out who will win the job. We've just kind of been assuming that Ruiz will. I think no preseason game kind of throws a wrench into that. As Payton alluded to, it's going to be very hard to evaluate now. They're going to have to up the intensity of practice. Try to make those calls there. It also is really tough on Ruiz, the same way that a weird offseason's hurting Miles Brennan. Imagine being a college kid who's the first-round pick of an NFL team that believes that it's Super Bowl bound, and you are the guy who has to make all the calls for the Hall of Famer that's been doing it for 20 years. You are the kid that has to be ready to go week 1 to protect Brees first and foremost, on top of knowing everything to do, making all the calls to the vets, and you got all pro guys on your right and your left. It's a lot of pressure for Ruiz. And whoever does win that job, be it McCoy or Ruiz, maybe one of them ends up at guard, maybe Nick Easton ends up winning a guard job. The bottom line, whoever does, it's going to be critical to the overall success of the season. It may sound weird, but in this Saints offense, that position can have an undue impact on the team as a whole. If Drew Brees has had one kryptonite throughout his career, it's been interior pressure. Now, to be fair, it's a great way to beat any QB. I don't care who you are, that's a great way to beat them. But it is especially effective against Drew Brees because his physical skill set, right? He is a bit shorter. Interior pressure makes those lanes even harder to find. He has a relative lack of mobility. I still dream about that spin move against the Falcons from a couple years ago. That said, that's the exception, not the rule. And so when you get pressure from the inside, you can shut Brees down, right? Look at the Vikings game last year. Look at the pick in overtime that ended the Rams game. Interior pressure. And really think about that Vikings game last season. I got an argument earlier, top 5 quarterbacks in the NFL. And Emil in the chat trying to put my guy, though, but still trying to put Tom Brady at number 5 instead of Drew Brees. Absurd. What did Tom Brady do last year that Brees did not do better? I mean, look at last December. This was going into the playoffs, going into that Vikings game. In the month of December, Drew Brees was NFC Offensive Player of the Month. He completed 75% of his passes for 1,188 yards, 15 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, a 137 quarterback rating. He only got sacked 3 times in 4 games. He was on fire. He was playing as good as anybody in the NFL. And then what happened? You get to the wild card round. He gets sacked 3 times in 1 game, throws 1 touchdown and a pick, and that QB rating drops 47 points to 90. Why? Because of interior pressure. Why is Larry Warford no longer on the team? A lot of the reason is because of that game. It's the same reason why years ago the Saints went out of their way to trade for Max Unger. They sacrificed so much of the altar of Jarris Byrd, and then for a while there, they kind of felt like, okay, Brees will mask any O-line deficiencies that we have, and they were proven to be incorrect. Those are the times when Brees struggled most in his career. So you went out and you made sure to get Max Unger. And now they went out and they drafted McCoy super high. And they drafted Cesar Ruiz super high. Why? Because they're trying to maximize their best piece. And even as old as he is, ultimately, just because of the nature of football and how quarterback-centered it is, Drew Brees will decide where this team goes. So protecting him on the inside, it's going to be critical. And when you want to win the Super Bowl, and look, if when you want to win the Super Bowl, the bar is high. And so Cesar Ruiz, you're a rookie. You've had a weird offseason. It's been tough to train. Maybe you've been doing like Zoom calls with the team. You didn't get OTAs. You didn't get rookie minicamp, but none of that matters. The season's still happening. The train is hurtling down the tracks. And as Teron Armstead said yesterday, the Saints have a Super Bowl on the mind. Can Cesar Ruiz figure it out? It's going to be one of the critical questions of this pseudo training camp. We'll have to wait and see. All right, Jimmy Ott. Jimmy Ott's game time. Cut on neck. Like a week, Otter. Going to give you some weekend plays to make you a little money. Stay around here on Off the Bench. OTB-OT.
OTB-OT.
Live NBA play-by-play continues tonight with the Houston Rockets and Dallas Mavericks. Tip-off is set for 8. And tune in Sunday afternoon as the Portland Trail Blazers take on the Boston Celtics. Our coverage begins with pregame at 2 p.m.
The NBA is on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
This isn't just another day. It's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her Auctioner primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an Auctioner care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Auctioner Baton Rouge, innovating healthcare for Kelly.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is a local bank with a straightforward philosophy.
It's about doing the right thing for our customers.
Participating in our community with annual local fundraisers, offering individual attention in a modern banking atmosphere with a trusted local company. Gulf Coast Bank invested in technology with a local touch, giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime.
We're building relationships through personal service as the bank that cares about you.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
To all of our heroes working on the front lines of this COVID-19 pandemic, your bravery and selflessness represent the very best of us, and we want to say thank you. I'm asking everyone around the state to join me in celebrating the heroism of our healthcare professionals on the 19th of every month at 1900 hours, that's 7 p.m. Write a note of appreciation, make plans to donate to charitable organizations, or say a prayer. To learn more, visit 19thanks.org. Thank you, and God bless.
If I built a van, it would do more than haul.
It would carry my entire business. I'd make it available in dozens. Make that thousands of configurations.
It would keep an eye on my fleet. And an eye out for danger.
If I built a van, I'd make it available in diesel and gas. And I'd build it right here in South Carolina.
Introducing the all-new Sprinter, starting at $33,790. Built in the USA. Mercedes-Benz. Vans. Born to run.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. Service Master Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
At All Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All Star Toyota today.
Crime has serious consequences, but anyone can make a mistake. If you find yourself in trouble with the law, know that you have rights, and it's okay to demand them. The law offices of O.C. Brown are here to protect you and your rights. Felony or misdemeanor, DUI or drug charge. No matter what crime you're accused of, you still have rights. Let the law offices of O.C. Brown uphold them. Call 225-343-1111. Your law firm for a lifetime.
Tonight on Game Time, Jimmy Ott and Ben Mintz react to the Pelicans losing their first game of the restart in heartbreaking fashion. We're live from Just Winging It on Hooshitu from 6 to 8 p.m. Come say hello or tune in to 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
OTB OT with T-Bob Hebert, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
Welcome back. OTBOT reminding you, don't be a Dick Vitale today. Have a great weekend. Be kind to others. Flush this Pelicans loss and get ready for the next game, baby. It's all about the weekend. It's all about making a little money this weekend. It's Friday, which means it's time to talk to the one, the only, the degenerate, the odd father, lock of the week. Otter, what's going on, man?
What's happening, T-Bob? Man, come on, man. T-Bob, you on the Pelicans payroll, babe? Huh?
Why? What's going on?
I mean, the guy we've known for 2 months. This game was last night. Zion's not in any less shape than anybody else. If you got a Maserati, what good is it if you keep it locked up in a garage, bro?
Okay, look, I'm going to disagree with you here. I thought Zion looked winded. And if you look at the pictures they released 4 weeks ago of him in training camp versus how he looked last night, I don't think those 2 weeks off were kind to him. I don't know. Yeah. I take it at face value, man. Look, Jimmy, you hired Aaron Nelson, the Suns trainer, right? Remember we all celebrated that? The Pelicans, look at this trainer. He's also – you got to let the guy do his job. If he says it's too risky, it's too risky. You got to ease him back into this thing. Plus, Jimmy, how about this? Zion, minus 16 in 15 minutes last night.
Oh, but they were better on defense when he was in there. What did he shoot?
No, they were not better on defense. They were getting out-rebounded. They were getting killed on the board when he was on defense. What are you talking about?
No, maybe you're talking sense into me. Maybe this 8-game grind is just way too much to expect for a guy.
Oh, wow. Oh, my God, dude.
Oh, God. It's 8 games, T-Bob. I mean, damn. I mean, you know, Zion, on, man. I mean, geez. Give us something. Give us something, man. I can understand when he's coming off the long injury layoff. I get that. But not here. He's been doing nothing but getting in shape. I mean, everybody's a little bit off.
Well, that's what I'm saying. But we don't know that with the last 2 weeks, though, right? Like dealing with the family medical emergency. Was he working out? And that stuff can go quick. That can go really, really quick.
Bob, in my next life, I want you as my employer. Okay.
Wow.
I mean, come on, you're getting soft, baby. That is ridiculous last night. Come on, T. Come on, baby.
All right.
Anyway, where's Mincy tonight? I mean, where's Mincy today?
We had some guests push back, so it didn't make a lot of sense to bring him in because, like, we weren't going to be able to talk to him because we had too full of an hour, unfortunately. So Mincy got Trajan Langdon bumped Mincy. I know it hurts, but hey, we had to make some tough decisions.
Well, first post at Saratoga, the oldest racetrack in upstate New York. You fly into Albany. It's about a 30-minute drive from the airport to Saratoga Springs. And my buddy Rob Henning, he's coming on tonight at 6:15. But his service is available. HorseRacing.com. Okay, he's 5-10 yesterday. The last 6 races. He's in the last 11.
Wait, hold on, Jimmy. Let's just see if we can figure these phones out for a second, because now we're getting into the picks, and for whatever reason, the phone started breaking up a little bit. Musa, what do we do? Want to hang up and call back? You want to try to move in a different spot? Well,
can you hear me now?
Okay, that sounds better, I think, right?
Okay.
Yeah. So what you got? Start over.
11 of 16. He's hit his last 11 of 16. I mean,
Wow.
Some are 2-1, some are 3-1, some are 8-1 and 10-1. I mean, it is a torrid pace. So some after action if people are interested. EastCoastHorseRacing.com. I mean, he is on fire. Rob Henning, he'll be with us tonight. So got the news, the latest. The Cardinals and Brewers game has been canceled today. So that's it's a little disturbing today, but we do have a full slate. And I tell you what did you think about the whole NBA setup last night? I thought it looked good.
I loved it.
I thought it looked good.
I think that an NBA gym has some advantages over like a baseball stadium. They have way less empty seats to account for, and all these other things. But the screens are a very nice touch. The fans on the Zoom thing was kind of fun. The music, doing the like defense noises and the music, like doing the in-game sound that you're used to hearing, for me was huge. Because like that is the NBA to me, or like the defense chants and then the music on offense. And I think it would feel very naked without that. So yeah, production value wise, I thought it was top notch last night.
I didn't have the sound on, but they did have the music piped in as they do it with a normal situation in the NBA.
Wait, so you just have too many screens going on? Like what's no sound? You had too much action?
Yes, T-Bob. I mean, can only have I got the sound on the hottest hitting team in Major League Baseball, the young Padres. They scored 44 runs. They put up 10 on the board again last night. Richards is going to Coors Field tonight. He didn't give up a run his first outing. Again, 44 runs. The second high-scoring team in Major League Baseball, 38. It's a pick-em. Give me the Padres, man. They are a fun squad going into Coors Field tonight at a very short price. Hey, I got one for you in basketball, too.
Okay.
First game out the chute, too. The least affected and one of the most affected teams are playing each other at 1:30 today in Orlando. Orlando Magic is one of the least affected teams in the NBA. One of these sites that I go to kind of listed some power rankings of, the more affected teams. The Nets are at the bottom. Kyrie, Dinwiddie, Jordan, Chandler, Prince combined for 74 points a game. They're all out this afternoon. It is an inflated line. Still going to lay the 7 with Orlando against the Nets at 1:30 today. And I got you a little bit of a side to Houston-Dallas matchup. I love Dallas's team, but their style of play kind of favors the the Houston Rockets a little bit. People are betting on Dallas in this one. I'm going to take a couple of points in the Houston Rockets in the NBA. I love the staggered
How many
games,
points?
man.
How many? I'm trying to keep track of all this so we can repeat them at the end. How many points you getting with Houston?
Let me go. I will get you an updated line as we speak right now. So I think it's 1.5, 2.
Okay.
But I'm going to pull it up as
love it.
we speak. And we did like Castillo against Detroit, but that line is way too high at Detroit. So he was scratched yesterday with the rain out against the Cubbies. And I'm pulling up here. Let me see where.
Here, I got you. I'll fill a little time while you get it. Check out Game Time with Jimmy Ott. Him and Ben Mintz holding it down. Playboy Marty giving you all your picks to make some money every single night, 6 to 8, right here on 104.5. You got it,
Plus
Otter?
1.5. Plus
Okay.
1.5.
Love it.
The Rockets. Plus 1.5 are the Rockets. The Padres are a pick, and Orlando is -7. -7. What you got going on this weekend, T-Bob?
Nothing, man. I'm a very good person, so I'm going to take my children and go see their great grandmother at the nursing home in New Orleans today. And besides
they're
that,
allowing visitors?
well,
Nice.
you gotta see them. It's such a weird sign of the times. You got to see them through a screen. So
gotcha.
like through like a screened partition. So you don't actually get to see them. But, she loves seeing the kids and everything, man.
Yeah, fighting the same battle, man.
Yeah,
so,
yeah. Wait, so,
yeah.
okay, so what about you, Otter? You going up to the Bluffs? What do you got on the docket?
No, man. Finally, it's the first weekend without travel baseball for a long, long time. So
Nice.
I'm gonna be betting a lot of horses. I'm following my buddy Rob Penny. He has been on fire at Saratoga. He's great at Del Mar. So, and I was thinking about you. He hit the pick 5, closing out on Wednesday in turf race. And this first time starter, T-Bob, is about 6th of the turn and just cruises by everybody. Because they always come late on the grass, baby, and just wind's going away. It's a beautiful thing. So little baseball, little golf, little horse racing, little basketball. Got action, T-Bob.
We got action, and I'm joining you. I'm gonna throw a little cash this way. I'm gonna take advantage of these picks, and we're gonna re-update next Friday. See where my bag's at. So we
There
got
you
a
go. Hey,
Padres.
T-Bob.
Yeah.
I'm all with you too. I love the Florida Gators based on their schedule this year to win the East and even a shot to win the SEC at 8-1. But no way with this new adjusted schedule. It kills them.
Yes.
All of their tougher games are at home. They played Ole Miss, Vandy, and I forget who was on the road. They only played 3 road games in the original schedule because of the neutral site in Jacksonville.
Yeah.
So it was just all set up for them this year. But nobody took a blow like the Florida Gators with this new adjusted schedule.
Yeah, and we'll see. As far as I understand it, Jimmy, I don't think that those are confirmed yet that they're going to do the next 2 opponents, although that's definitely an easy play. There's some idea that they might try to do like a competitive balance thing. What shape that takes, I don't know. It's probably a friendly to Nick Saban shape, I would imagine. But we'll see. If it does stand pat, yeah, Florida's the big loser there. No doubt.
Well, I don't see how you can do it any other way without somebody accusing you of a little shadiness.
Yeah, exactly what I just
next-
said. Yeah, like being like, you just did this for Saban.
I mean, come on, man. These are the next 2 teams in your rotation. I don't see any other more fair way to do it than that. It's just unfortunate that Florida got that. And, in Texas A&M, it was all based on their schedule, including their non-conference.
Yes.
You pick up a Colorado instead of Clemson.
Oof.
Colorado, you know what Colorado's win total was for this year?
No.
3.5.
What do you do? Over under? Do you have an opinion on the Colorado win total?
No, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying that was their marquee non-conference game. A team that was projected to go 3-9 or 4-8.
Oh no, I know. What I'm saying though is just to test your levels of degeneracy. Do you have a play on that Colorado number?
Even I have standards, Steve. Okay.
Okay. I'm just making sure here.
No, it's been a funky year, and I really have not put the time in the off-season win totals for college football. I love them. Last year, I went under Ole Miss. I went over Oregon State. That one easy. But, there's just so much uncertainty.
Yeah, stay away.
It's just wasted time when you're trying to do it. But, no, we hadn't broken it down. Phil Steele does a real good job with his magazine. Oregon State had the most returning lettermen out of any Power 5 team last year. Their over-under was 2.5. They were terrible. Terrible in 2018, but they just bit the bullet. They basically redshirted their entire freshman class in 18 and had everybody coming back. Things like that you can kind of pick up, but when you don't know the schedule,
it's impossible.
It's just wasted time. So,
okay, last one. How mad is Hanny going to be if Alabama gets to drop A&M but keeps Vanderbilt?
Oh my God, suicide watch! Oh my Lord! My man, he just can't get. He sees that guy. It's his boogeyman. Poor Tracy comes in the middle of the night. He's kicking and screaming. He's seeing Saban, and he swims in his head, man. Thank the Lord we beat him this year. Oh,
I agree. I feel the same way. He swims in my head at times.
And he's the best. God bless you, Hester.
All right, Otter. Check out Jimmy tonight, 6 to 8. Give you all those picks and more. Again, he likes the Padres pick 'em this weekend. He likes the Magic -7 and the Rockets +1.5. We'll see how you do.
Look, yep, and we're going to be at Just Winging It, Old Jefferson and Hoosier 2. We're going to have horse racing, golf, basketball, baseball, all on. Come by and hang out with us, man. Just Winging It, Old Jefferson and Hoosier 2.
Love it, Otter. You have a great weekend, man.
You too, T-Bob. Always a pleasure.
All right. And it's Otter, Ben Mintz, and Playboy Marty. All right. We will close out OTBOT next.
OTB OT. Our listeners fire off their opinions on the jimsfirearms.net hotline at 499-1045. Keep listening for your next chance to shoot us your thoughts with the jimsfirearms.net hotline on 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Ochsner.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is a local bank with a straightforward philosophy.
It's about doing the right thing for our customers.
Participating in our community with annual local fundraisers, offering individual attention in a modern banking atmosphere with a trusted local company. Gulf Coast Bank invested in technology with a local touch, giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime.
We're building relationships through personal service as the bank that cares about you.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
If I built a van, it would do more than haul.
It would carry my entire business. I'd make it available in dozens. Make that thousands of configurations.
It would keep an eye on my fleet. And an eye out for danger.
If I built a van, I'd make it available in diesel and gas. And I'd build it right here in South Carolina.
Introducing the all-new Sprinter, starting at $33,790. Built in the USA. Mercedes-Benz. Vans. Born to run.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
To all of our heroes working on the front lines of this COVID-19 pandemic, your bravery and selflessness represent the very best of us, and we want to say thank you. I'm asking everyone around the state to join me in celebrating the heroism of our healthcare professionals on the 19th of every month at 1900 hours, that's 7 p.m. Write a note of appreciation, make plans to donate to charitable organizations, or say a prayer. To learn more, visit 19thanks.org.
Yo, join us for a Friday TGIF edition of Hanging with Hester and Hanny, presented by Richard Honda. Hey, Hanny, is Flynn going to show up?
I don't know. Jimmy's laying 5-2 against.
Doesn't look good for your boy, but we're going to have a great show on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
OTB OT with T-Bob Hebert, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
OTBOT, what a week it has been. Jordy Kalana is mocking us. Did you see the picture on Twitter that Jordy posted?
No.
He's on the beach.
Ah.
I feel like Jordy spent the entire summer on the beach.
Getting a pretty early start there.
Yeah. Hey. You can't get day drunk if what?
You can't drink all day if you don't start in the morning.
That's what it is.
That's
what I was looking for.
That is a motto right there.
Thank you. Also, though, Jordy's not always the biggest drinker, so I don't know. Hold on, let me try to find it. He buried this in a reply. Yeah, there it is. Somebody tweeted into OTB, does Jordy Kalana ever work a full week? And he responded with a picture of him at the beach. So shout
Nice
out
flex.
to you, Jordy. Yeah.
Nice flex.
Yeah, there it is. Danny's got it on the screen. Hope you're enjoying yourself, bro. It's been a fun week here, though. Continue developing OTBOT. Look, we got some new segments that are going to come to this final hour next week. So look forward to that. Going to give Musso a little Sox talk time. I'm going to work in a little tier list action. We got some other ideas as well, so we'll continue to develop those. Be on the lookout for those next week. Obviously, this is going to be a weekend full of sports. The main thing I'm locked into, boys, I'm going to play Otters Plays. Let's see if I make some money. But mainly, I'm just on this Pelicans bandwagon, man. We said at the very beginning, you had to get one of these first two. You had that one last night. You dropped it. You're salty. The Clippers are salty for how it went down with the Lakers. I don't care. You got to find a way to beat Kawhi Leonard and Paul George. Ooh, feels bad saying it that way. Tomorrow night. Oh, man, that feels really bad. But we'll see. We'll see, okay? Crazier things have happened. The Pels took a couple of, well, that wasn't a full-strength Clippers team. I don't know, man. Flock up. Let's just hope for the best, okay? At this point, it's all we can really do. Huge thank you to Matthew Musso doing an excellent job of producing this week. Getting back ready to this morning schedule. Huge thank you to my main man, Danny Cardenas, right there. Somebody in the YouTube chat pointing out Danny's resemblance with George. Absolutely, they look a lot alike. I'd never considered that. And then huge thank you to Jordy, and we'll see you next week, as well as everybody who joined us today. Trajan Langton, Cole Kublik, and all week long. Coach O coming up on Tuesday. Football school recap of any LSU football news broke over the weekend. SEC scheduling news, I assume, will break this weekend. Maybe, maybe not. But we'll recap it all on Off the Bench Monday morning, 7 to 10 a.m. I'll see you then. Have a great, safe, and blessed weekend. Go Pels.